Oh, are we? There we go, chat. Welcome in, welcome in. We are live. We are here on another Tuesday night. We've got a fun one for you. We're going to be going way back into the pop culture time machine today. I don't know how far back we could go at some point. Well, I mean, I guess we could go as far back as we in the pop culture time machine. Maybe we'll do like a Beethoven re-listen at some point. Look up the anniversary for like a Mozart song, and then maybe we'll do a listen like that. But 1960s Alfred Hitchcock. It's really it's really, of course, going way back into the zeitgeist. I think there is. I'm trying to think. There's a handful of movies from like the 30s, not I would say early 30s, but of course maybe mid to late 30s, and then early 40s. There's some classics. I mean, there's some holiday classics, of course, as well too, that are from that way back. Yeah, it's even 20 years, I guess, before the 1960. By 1960, I guess from the 20s, it's modern, and I guess from the 20s in film. Well, okay, we're all over the place to start chat. Hey, it is what it is. Welcome in. We got Psycho, and I guess we should say as well, too. We've also going to rerun the Bills-Ravens game here in the back for a little bit as well. Of course, it was an iconic game Sunday night, a classic for the ages. People comparing it to the Chiefs-Rams game from a Monday night, of course, a handful of years ago, back when the Chiefs used to be good. And the score, I guess, pretty close in the score. Fourth quarter drama, of course. The Bills really adding to that fourth quarter total there for the scoring. And I think just in terms of a game, I do think that Rams Chiefs game was a little bit better, because I think here, let's go pull that up real quick, because I want to say that was maybe a little bit more closer throughout the game. Again, this was a really dramatic fourth quarter by Buffalo, and Josh Allen was incredible, and it was ultimately again a high value game. But if we are valuing this game based on the fourth quarter, then I got to say, I think and I guess regular season as well, too, but that fourth quarter, of course, sorry to Bills fans not to bring it up right away, but, that fourth quarter that they had in the playoffs a couple years ago, 13 seconds, maybe didn't quite go their way. That just from a drama, high-level plays type standpoint is still probably just one of the best stretches of football that, we've ever gotten, but just especially that we've been able to see if we were going our viewing time span as well too. So I get that wasn't necessarily regular season, but that was still, if we're just going for a quarter, a period of time in a game. Was that 21 or 22 when they had that Rams game? And I guess we don't even remember what week it was as well too. It was in the middle of the season-ish. I don't think it was 21. I mean, I guess Mahomes has been in the league for a couple years now. Ayo. So we could have to go back. When was his first season? Was it 18? All the way back to 18, chat. Super Bowl in 19. Hey, yo. Did they win the Super Bowl the year they had the dramatic game? I want to say, was that the first year of the Mahomes run? Hey, yo, Jared Goff early on into the run as well, too. Yeah, week 11. 51-54. They lost the game. I guess there was, of course, some defensive plays at the end that the Rams made that helped them win. But yeah, I guess you had the Rams scoring 10 plus in every quarter, and the Chiefs, they get points in every quarter, 16 in the second quarter, 21 in the fourth quarter as well too. So, again, some dramatic. Wasn't there like an Ebicom with the interception return? I wanted to say he got a fumble, but an interception return, and that's with 2 minutes left in the third quarter. Oh, and he did have a fumble return touchdown as well, too. So he had 2 scores in that game. I mean, shout out Ebicom. He's on the Colts right now. I've wanted to have him on the Colts ever since that game. So, I mean, I'm sure I'm not the only one that's kept stocking him based on one game. Make no mistake, we will do that, chat. I mean, speaking of that fourth quarter, Bills-Chiefs, we still have Gabe. Is Gabe Davis still in the league? Like, we still have Gabe Davis stock based on what he did that fourth quarter. It's like, 200 yards or whatever. Just over the course of that game was crazy. Donald with 2 sacks. John Johnson. Hey, yo, whatever happened to John Johnson, 11 tackles in that game? Yeah, Ebicom with the touchdown. I guess, it's got him listed in 2, I guess, yeah, separate categories. The interceptions and the fumbles there. But, yeah, a game for the ages, of course. And a little bit of a bummer, too, that it did, of course. Maybe, well, not a bummer for Bills fans, but... And I guess maybe not for, because at the end of the day, drama's drama. If it's guys making elite plays, in the quote unquote positive way, then that's obviously maybe the most ideal, 100% fun. But kind of ending on a fumble is such a great performance for Derrick Henry is a little bit brutal. And for him to just look that impressive in that game as well, too. Again, the running back thing has definitely become a little bit of a talking point, make no mistake, over the last couple of years. It's not even just the life cycle of the running backs. It's the overall value in their drafting and then their pay grade as well too. And again, there is obviously probably some math that goes into that, but it doesn't mean that it does, certain guys can get overlooked. Do you get the generalization sometimes, on the individual talent? That's pretty crazy. And Henry, of course, at this point, is just, there are no rules that apply to Derrick Henry at this point as a running back, I guess, besides hold on to the football in the fourth quarter. Chad, it is what it is. And, we don't want to make the man feel bad, Chad. Obviously, it was a great game, so, IT cut that out. But maybe, week one, if you're gonna choose, Chad, the week to have the Derrick Henry disaster fumble, I guess maybe week one as well. I don't know if you choose a week against, because again, this is tie-break standpoint, could be pretty tough as well too. But I would say, and we'll get to the end of the game here as well. I didn't think about rerunning the condensed versions of the game, but that is cool. We could go, because you get a half an hour watch for a bunch of them. It is a way to kind of zip through. Obviously, we watch them sometime as well too. I just didn't think about doing it. It is what it is. But the Ravens at this point, and I guess down 3-7 as well too. Obviously, they took over, and again Henry himself as well really dominated. But is he? And I feel like, again, because of the running back thing, you look at a running back and you're like, oh wait, he's only 28. Like I thought they were saying he's the oldest guy in the league at this point, but he is 31 as well too. I don't know if we have to do a quick stat head deep dive here and see running backs over the age of 31, but that one feels like, now we're kind of getting into territory. I don't know, like our guy Peterson, chat, 31. So 31 was right off of so we had the 2,000 yard season at 2027, and then 13, 1,200, 14 misses the year. 16 back to 1,400, 11 touchdowns, or 15, sorry, back to 1,400 yards, 11 touchdowns. 2016, only 3 games played, and then I guess that would have been his 31-year-old season there. 32-year-old the next year, 10 games played, 529 yards. So Adrian Peterson from this point on as well, and I guess we don't want to necessarily start. He may have had, and not just some off the field circumstances, but he did have some injuries as well too. So there is obviously the I word that gets involved with the running back careers as well too. But let's see here. He was 3,000 total yards in 64 games after that. So he was about what are we looking at here per season? Like I guess 500 yards, and that's I guess extrapolating out as well too the fact that he was missing a bunch of games in there. So he still ended up being about 50 yards a game, but again, just consistently wasn't able to stay healthy. I guess in Washington, he did have a 1,000-yard year, and then an 898-yard year in Washington as well in 2019. So a couple of productive seasons. I guess we don't want to necessarily discredit him. Again, the injuries start piling up and stuff like that. It is what it is. But those 2 seasons, 31 games, 1,900 yards, 12 seasons. But again, that's like a nice. That's like, we feel good for Adrian Peterson that he's been able to he's achieving success in the NFL. Like Henry is still the best running back in the league. He's still physically unstoppable, and he's just, plowing through guys, and it's crazy. I mean, I'm sure we could have probably, we could have skipped that part, chat, but it is what it is. He's still just unstoppable running downhill. And I don't know if it was a little bit of a, Bills defense thing as well too. Their defense is always, of course, really well coached and fundamental in a way that you would expect them. And there was a stat going around as well too that I saw that said that they were, maybe it wasn't the best, but it might have been the best defense in points per game against playoff team matchups. So there is, of course, a elevation factor there that happens when they play those good opponents, and they do have a bunch of underrated guys, and the blocking for the Ravens as well too early on. I mean, Henry just on that play, again, the speed is still there in full force. The little kind of outside run, and he turns the corner and just finds the space. Easy touchdown from 30 yards out. But again, there's still good lanes there available. The offensive line, the way he cuts back right behind the offensive line, and then they're already 7 yards down the field clearing out linebackers and safeties. So impressive stuff. I guess we'll have to see. Is that like a stamina thing that maybe fourth quarter? Again, Henry's a guy that fourth quarter, and he obviously did not play well as well too. He just fumbled. So that's different than the Rams, or the Rams, we're thinking about that game. So have we said the Rams a bunch of times? We may have, Chad. If we're saying Rams, make no mistake, it means the Ravens. I don't know if the Chiefs mean the Bills. That's our code word. We're still thinking of that game. But, again, it's not like he necessarily slowed down at the end of the game. He just kind of had a tough play. I mean, that's always, of course, the story with the Ravens, though. And I think even before that drive where he unfortunately fumbled, the Ravens were just really kind of lackluster before that in the attempt to run out the clock. It didn't seem like there was a serious, again, attempt to sort of end the game. And I think that there was also, I guess you could say in the moment, you're like, you trust the defense. I don't know if you trust the defense after the way Josh Allen's been torching in the fourth quarter. But I guess if we're just going, blank slate from that moment, trust your defense, you're like, okay, the Ravens have got some good players, so I get it. But just the sort of, again, the lack of urgency. You don't want to say like, the step up stuff like that, because who even really knows what that means as well too. Obviously, just at the end of the day, it's making the positive plays, but plays that result in not fumbling. But just that sort of mental, maybe foot off the pedal type of energy that they're given in that fourth quarter, not necessarily locked in the same type of way. Maybe it leads to a thing like a fumble, or in the past as well too, it hasn't necessarily been on Henry. It's been, at this point as well too, you can't just point fingers at Lamar. Like, I know if we looked at playoff games, we could go back and, they also have drops and stuff in there as well too. But throughout the history of the Ravens now, it's just, this run, especially since adding in Henry, now they all have reasons that they've cost the Ravens games. It's like, this Lamar pick, this receiver drop, this Henry fumble. It is what it is. And it just, maybe that's, Harbaugh's obviously going to start getting looked at as well too if they keep losing these close games. But there is just that sort of lack of those last couple of minutes. They seem to really lock in and be playing better. And that's, again, the Chiefs are that type of team, and I know we'll see if that's the team that they are this year. But the Ravens should be that, but actually, the quote-unquote talented version of it from the Chiefs last year. And the Chiefs, going back to whatever, were that version of it as well too, where they could dominate a game and then be really good at closing out a game. And Spags is gonna, the way he's able to dial up the pressures over the course of the game, the defenders are all playing with like extra energy in the fourth quarter, and Mahomes is just locked in and not making plays. And again, over the last couple of seasons, it led to them having to win these close games and not necessarily having the 3.5 quarters before that to give them the impressive performances. But again, the Ravens are the team that had the 3.5 quarters to give them the impressive performances and just don't have the fourth quarter moments. And I still just, again, would kind of gravitate toward picking Lamar Jackson as just the entertainment value watching. I guess that's maybe the way to say it. If I was going to pick a quarterback on the Colts that I just wanted to watch for 16, 17 games, I mean, you go back to the way peak Mahomes was running around, and even still, in that Chargers game, he's going to give you one crazy throw, and maybe that's just, sort of the Mahomes is demented enough to be the best quarterback of all time by attempting some of these throws. But, again, just the way Lamar is just, to me, super fun to watch, and I know that Allen is, of course, just the way he's able to, he still has the arm strength and the rushing ability, even though it's more strength than Lamar is speed. The way that Lamar just jukes in and out of guys, and then the way that he's, of course, developed as a passer as well, too, and just the crispness of his throws. And again, how accurate on his good passes that he has become. Like, he just, to me, is just the most fun quarterback in the league to watch at this point. I guess of the top guys, if we were actually ranking entertainment value quarterbacks, I think, again, because he produces as well, too, as a top level, that obviously makes him the most fun to watch. Shout out to Peterson. And I guess, quick pivot back to Peterson real quick. They have him listed on Pro Football Reference in the Washington jersey, or is that, did he have a Cardinals run in there at the end? He did have an Arizona run before Washington, and then went to Detroit, Tennessee, and Seattle for one year. So, I don't know, Minnesota, just go back and re-edit the picture with the Vikings, with one of those Viking seasons. I don't know if that has to be the thing. Is it always, I guess, again, it's not his last team as well, too. Like, Peyton Manning's definitely going to be in the Broncos jersey. Maybe it's just the veteran version of them. They're trying to be a more current version of the player. I don't know. But it's not like they have the old players, like, super updated with, like, hey, this is, family photo at 82. It's like, this is still him from back in his playing days. So, older version of the player playing days? I don't know. But I guess, I guess, like, Jalen Hurts, of course, is super fun to watch. Jaden Daniels is becoming super fun to watch. I mean, Stroud, when he's, accurate and has time, I guess, is fun to watch as well, too. But Lamar just has that, obviously extra level of entertainment value that puts him up there as well as the talent with the top guys in the league. But again, just in these fourth quarter moments, I can't at this point, not to say that week one regular season is going to dictate, of course, the legacies of these guys' careers. But again, it just is like a little thing added into what we've been building on up until this point. There we go. I think that's a sentence. But, Josh Allen, again, is elevated in some of these moments. And I know he's had, again, on the end of it, he's not the Mahomes up until this career with the perfect, sort of fourth quarter type stuff. And again, we still value that for Mahomes. Like, I guess until we really see it fall off here, man, well, how many weeks do we give Mahomes, Chad? Hey, it really starts, walking a tightrope. There's a lot of talent at the quarterback position in the league, but, it just, unfortunately, the 3.5 quarters. Lamar, he's the 3.5 quarter quarterback, Chad. Hey, it is what it is. And again, shout out. We're pro Lamar, Chad. We love Lamar here on the pod, but, you just can't keep having this type of clutch stuff happening and this type of mental effort at the end of the games. At some point, hey, are we just, somebody else would probably say this on a different pod, but, at some point you are what you are as a team. And I know that, again, the Chiefs were still a team that in the regular season would find ways to win. And I guess this season, if we have a couple of regular season games, you do have to be honest with yourself at the state of this season. I think, also big picture, writing off Mahomes as a quarterback is one thing, compared to, there is, of course, the elevating of the roster effect. But I do think, again, you kind of have to look at what the Bills and Ravens have at rosters as well, too, and just go, they're, good teams as well. And, just Josh Allen playing crazy like that, too. I mean, obviously the Ravens have a bunch of name value talent as well, not just necessarily like the football guy, analytical type stuff. But, and, Lamar is, how many guys get the MVP chance in the opposing stadium? I know that that's going to be a big thing for the Bills fans. Of course, Josh, it's like they allowed that to happen. But, again, it's like, okay, wow, like Lamar's transcended into that level. Like that's, how many guys have gotten there? Has Mahomes ever gotten there? I mean, I'm sure he has. He plays the Chargers twice a year, so I'm sure he's got some MVP chance on the road. It is what it is. But I guess, they play in the Chargers stadium once a year. But regardless, that's still enough over probably 8 seasons at this point. There's probably been one fourth quarter moment in there where there's been a random Chiefs fans in the back. It's like, MVP! It just echoes through the stadium as well. Or just like he's just like right under the boom mic. It just picks it up perfectly. But, I mean, just look at, see, even the way when he gets tackled for a 0-yard gain, Chad. Just the dodging and the shiftiness, it's, of course, highlight level stuff every time. And they do have, a little more consistent kicking game this year as well. So they put up 40, not necessarily a concern from that standpoint, but the fourth quarter stuff is tough, Chad. And I just, I guess we're not gonna sit here and say we don't trust the Ravens in the plays, because again, as much as we trust Mahomes, the individual player, like that, the Chiefs situation is tough. And again, to be honest, like he missed some throws in that game. I'm not gonna, is he the reason they lost? But there was definitely some missed opportunities, for sure, from his throw standpoint, and that's obviously the thing we were focusing on more so as well too. I'm sure there was other plays involved in the mix all the way around, but. Yeah, Chad, it is what it is. You're just a team that is a 3.5 quarter team, super fun to watch. And, from an entertainment value, again, from an overall just league purpose entertainment value standpoint, it's tough for the Ravens fans, but they're in fun games. Like, are the Ravens never not in a fun game against these high-level teams? I mean, and we've been really spoiled as well, too, with these three quarterbacks and, Burrow as well, too, getting into the mix. I mean, there's been Daniels and Hurts, with Hurts playing Mahomes in the Super Bowl stuff, like they're starting to get their names in the mix as well too. But every time it's like some version of those three guys in a game together, it is of course just always something dramatic is happening, some classic stuff is going down for sure. I don't know if the NFL is more consistent in the player matchups, like the high level player matchups, delivering in that type of way. Of course, in the regular season, you're just more likely if everybody's locked in, then the guys are probably just going to be playing as well, too. There's not going to be those nights when it's like, Lamar Jackson's taking week 8 off and he's not playing in the Josh Allen game. You know, if Embiid was the quarterback for the Ravens, Chet, hey, yo, would he have been out there? He's like, I'm getting a little sore week 1. I might have to be out there for week 2. You know, Josh Allen matchups look a little tough. In Buffalo, yeah, there's no way, Chet. It is what it is. 20-13 at the half. And yeah, it really was that third quarter where the Ravens ran it up. But I guess it was kind of close in the first half. And again, Henry was definitely ripping off some big plays. But their pass defense was doing okay. And Lamar is just, you know, again, he's going to make stuff happen, extending plays and creating stuff. And is just a good passer in the pocket now as well, too. But 20-13 at the half. If the Ravens have a good third quarter and the Bills have a good fourth quarter, again, the math of the game, you want to still hold out your lead. But I guess maybe was it sort of the, you know, if we're going with the NBA analogy, is there a little bit of a game of runs aspect to this game as well, too? And again, it all goes to the fact that, you know, at some point, you know, there's individual plays at the end of the game that were really impactful. But maybe the Bills are, you know, again, kind of on par with this team as well, too. Not necessarily just a team that caught fire in the fourth quarter. Hey, we're not, you know, taking credit away from Josh Allen, but for them to be contenders as well, too. You know, they're going to, of course, have to be a good team. Like, you know, hot take. It is what it is. But they've been running, they've had these guys there for a couple of years now. You know, of course, guys like Benford and stuff kind of working their way up through the team, it feels like. And, pause, is that crazy? But, you know, it seems like, you know, of course, earning more trust and more responsibility on the defense. And, again, it still continues to play well. They still draft, it seems like, pretty productive guys. But Zay Flowers even, you know, and so I guess maybe some of the tackling stuff is concerning, chat. So is it a deep defensive line as well? Of course, Oliver and Rousseau are definitely going to be amongst there for the better, the better players in the team, for sure. But once, of course, like we're saying, the Ravens are able to get into those second levels with, like, Derrick Henry on these runs, or on this one, the Zay Flowers on the screen. You know, they're at, like, the 20-25, so it's not like he has a ton of room to go once he's in the second level. But he still has the ability to kind of get there with the way the defense is spaced out. And, you know, it's just not really, not a lot of defense there on those type of plays. So, you know, again, we have to, of course, give Josh Allen his credit, like we were saying. But it is tough to see the Ravens lose another game like this in a close fourth quarter. So I think that they're going to have, of course, chances to prove themselves again in these good games as well, too, against these high-level teams. Because if they play the Chiefs this year, chat, hey, yo, make no mistake, you're going to want to see that matchup in the regular season. That might be a winnable game. It is what it is. We'll just have to see how they continue to play out here. Oh, I guess we do have the grades for week 1, 4th overall team. Hey, yo, so Browns next week, Lions, Chiefs, Texans, Rams. And then a bye week, then the Bears, Dolphins, Vikings, Browns, Jets, Bengals, Steelers. Okay, so definitely the second half of the season. They got the Packers a little bit later. Of course, a couple Bengals games. Vikings are looking pretty good. But, you know, maybe the early run here is pretty crazy. And again, they were, to some degree, kind of cruising in this game as well, too. Just playing really dominant. So we'll see how they continue to fire up through this next stretch. The Browns game is at noon, and then they got the Lions on Monday and the Chiefs on Sunday night. So they don't really have any short weeks in here as well, too. There's not like a random Thursday in there, or, you know, like a Monday night to, I guess the Monday night, yeah, they even go Sunday afternoon on that one. So, you know, even couple more hours to catch a break. Is that at Kansas City, home Detroit, then at Kansas City? That's not too bad, though. And I guess Detroit as well right now, you know, with the way their offense looked. I don't think their offense looked like it can go toe-to-toe with the Ravens' offense. So, again, they've kind of ascended to this level as well, too, of just being a dominant team. But the way we're looking at, like, the Cowboys' offense after putting up, 20 points in the Eagles, it's like, oh, you know, are they going to be unstoppable leading them to the playoffs this year? It's like, well, the Ravens are probably still going to, you know, be putting up 30-plus a game on these teams. I guess, you know, the Browns always do, of course, that is a feisty game. Flacco, their ability to control the pace, like, that could still be low scoring. I would assume they would win that game, but that's a classic. If they do win this Bills game, then they can go back to Cleveland in week 2 and then lose that game. Or, you know, go back at home in Cleveland week 2 and then lose that game would feel like something the Ravens would do. And then, clean up the next couple of weeks. You can see that kind of cycle happening, dropping one weird one in there. But speaking of Minnesota, of course, and our guy McCarthy, shout out, of course, to Billy Buckets. Hey, yo, it is what it is. But we were rooting for McCarthy in that game. He can't feel too bad. Of course, he shares the Michigan fandom. So, seeing McCarthy play well can't be bad. So, yeah, here, even on the 2-point attempt, 21 to 27. And again, 15 points is 15 points. It is what it is. So I guess maybe that's kind of the reason that you're leaving early as well, too. It's not like the Ravens are just dominating the whole game. I mean, they're keeping a comfortable lead in some aspect. But then with that comfortable lead, it's like, oh, now the score's starting to pull away. Here it is. But, yeah, again, McCarthy with kind of a mini version of this game in a way, of course, giving up the lead. And I guess for Bears fans, we were talking to some Bears fans at work today. They were saying that, Caleb Williams looked good early in the game. And I think that is, true to some degree as well, too. But there were some stats about the second half throws that were not very encouraging. And even on that last couple of drives when they were moving the ball as well, too. Like that one throw, of course, he makes to Kmet. It's just like a crazy catch that Kmet makes. So I think the number that one of the Bears fans at work was like, they just showed the number on TV and he's like, oh no, Caleb Williams. It's like this, like, wait a second, did a customer like throw a bottle at him? It's like, no, they were just showing Caleb Williams stats on the TV. It's like, oh man, this is the guy's quarterback. Tough. But he was like 47% off target in the second half. So again, like even that completion down the field to Kmet was a good look. And Kmet was definitely open. And again, Kmet caught it, but I don't know if you could necessarily call that on target. I mean, it was in line for where it should have been if it would have been over more towards Kmet, but just in range enough for him to, get out there and, get a paw on it. But like he had a throw to DJ Moore. Was it on that same drive as well too, where it seemed like DJ Moore had a touchdown and he just missed him on the throw? So we could go back and look at some of the early plays as well too, but it felt like a lot of really quick, short, safe stuff. And I mean, shout out, you assume that Ben Johnson still, I guess we'll see the head coaching stuff, the quarterback play calling stuff, again, there's going to be a carryover effect. That's going to be, of course, there's going to be a level of skill there as well too. Josh Allen with a little flip, 2nd and 18 in the third quarter here, getting it into a first down. And that's like right in Ravens territory as well too. He's on like the 7-yard line when, on the wrong side of the field when they makes that throw. But yeah, it was a little bit of a safe game plan early on. So again, we'll see if that's Ben Johnson, the play calling stuff. Is he nervous, Chad, or is that, of course, something to do with the quarterback stuff there as well? And it's, again, speaking of the sort of the confidence mental game stuff, of course, and, I guess I don't know if it's fortunately, whatever the word is, but, it does seem like that is, of course, a little bit with the Caleb Williams factor. Because, again, those throws are there. Like, there is good talent on the skill guys for the Bears. I don't know, is it the best core in the league? Who cares? It's a good core. They got starting level, fantasy valued receivers for the most part. Young talent that you think with the right, play calling and playmaking could definitely be productive, if not, again, super impactful in the league as well too, with guys like Luther Burden and Rome Odunze. And they have invested in their offensive line. Again, the play calling is there. So again, we know, is it a Super Bowl level team? Again, they may be a couple pieces away, but it's still a good enough team where a good quarterback can have really good production in that, and on a drive like that, be put in a spot to take his team down the field for that winning, leading tie. I guess I don't remember exactly what the scenario would have been, because they were down by 10 there. No, they were down by 3 for a second. Hey, yeah, we'll have to go back and rewatch the fourth quarter of that one, I guess, maybe. But, yeah, there is opportunity there. And, of course, the arm talent. And he was still making throws. He had a throw to Odunze on the sideline, I think it was Odunze. That was pretty nice. But it is tough. And, the mental thing was very obvious against a guy like McCarthy, who, of course, had a little bit of a tough start to that game. And, even threw a pick 6 at one point as well, which, makes the Bears' overall score look good. If we just looked at the points their offense was putting up, then that would maybe even, you're like, oh, wait a second. I forgot it was like that. Oh, Chad, I forgot about the Hopkins touchdown catch. Hey, yo. So is that what finally got it to 15? That gets it to 30 plus for the Ravens. but the one-handed haul. And again, a little bit different than the Komet pass because it is, of course, a one-handed great catch by Hopkins. But it's a little bit different level of a great throw. It's kind of right over two defenders, and Hopkins kind of could have gotten that with two hands, but it was looking like he was trying to hold the defender off a little bit and, you know, intentionally use one hand to maybe get more, you know, pause. Hey, yo, get more one hand under. It's crazy. But you get what I'm saying, Chad. You can get closer to it, pause, with one hand versus, you know, two, whatever. But, you know, regardless, great catch by Hopkins. So, you know, same type of stuff, but a little bit of a higher level of throw. So, again, back to the bench stuff with McCarthy, of course. His ability to battle through in that game is one of the things that was very impressive as well, too. So, chat, we do have to take a quick break because, well, I guess do we say too much? Hey, yo, let's just stay tuned. Chat, you're going to want to stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. We're still rewatching. I guess the fourth quarter of this little condensed Ravens-Bills game is about to pop up. But we still got a classic movie in the background to rewatch as well, too. But, chat, just don't go anywhere. Wait 1 second. We got to take a quick break. Okay, chat, we are back. Hey, there we are. Now we're actually back. And, yeah, we in the fourth quarter now with Bills-Ravens, little rerun here. And, yeah, when the Ravens did get up 15, of course, there is a little back and forth where they go back up 15 again. But the Bills go back down and score. They do miss the 2-point, which is a little deflating. And, again, the Ravens go back down scoring. I get it to some degree, but Bills fans, it's a little tough. That's a little tough. You don't give the Bills... Did the Bills punt after the Ravens scored down 15? Because, again, they do get that last couple of possessions, like, really kind of later in the game. So, you know, there is maybe a couple minutes there in the fourth quarter where it is looking a little desperate. But, yeah, Bills fans, I don't know. Is that just week one rustiness? Rest over rust? Chat, the Bills fans? I don't know. You would think the Bills fans would be the ones that would just be there for the whole game. Just be locked in. You know, the way they're jumping through tables and, of course, just committed to the whole thing. Chat, you think maybe they just love the parking lot so much. That's what it is, chat. It's not even the Bills fans. Just... Don't criticize them for leaving the stadium. You know, compliment them for loving the Bills parking lot and Bills Mafia. They love hanging out there. It seems like most of the good highlights from Bills fandom does happen in a parking lot tailgate situation somewhere. And they just, if it's going to be down 15, we'll just head out back to the parking lot. Hey, yo, chat. Number 1 spot in Bill Stadium as well. And they were announcing, is that Henry run up the sideline. Again, just untouched, chat. Hey, yo. So, again, maybe I don't know if we have to flag the Bills defense. After this, I guess the question is, did the Bills defense make a stopping play at some point? Henry up the sideline, and there is a little bit of a 3-and-out situation later in the game as well, too. But I don't exactly remember if it was, again, kind of Bills players making big plays in that moment, or if it was more kind of like we were saying, a little bit of that Ravens energy, just not necessarily being in the right place. But yeah, speaking of McCarthy again, since we were railing about that a second there, just his ability. And he missed the extra point as well too off the upright. Tucker would have got that one in off the upright, chat. Ayo. But again, McCarthy's just overall leadership ability and poise, which was definitely the thing that was valued about him at Michigan as well, was definitely that extra sort of football IQ type stuff. And I mean, make no mistake, there was, if you were, of course, a pro McCarthy and all this stuff, there was that proness in his actual throwing ability as well too. And I know the combine, the pro days, how much do we value in that? But he did throw well in those, so it's not like he just was just didn't necessarily have a lot of attempts in the regular season and then goes into the combine and looks shaky, and it's like, wait a second, what's happening here? So again, even guys that didn't have a lot of attempts, a la Richardson, and it was Allen threw a pick. That's what it was, chat. So he did, did he drop it? So he threw an interception ball, I guess we should say, but the defender not quite able to make it in. So that's, of course, the pick off the 2-point conversion as well too. Josh Allen back-to-back picks. It is what it is. But yeah, like we were saying, McCarthy was valued in that type of stuff, and the Michigan team was stacked that won the national title. Make no mistake. It's not 100% of, he should have won the national title with this team. But again, it's pretty close. And with the way the run game was established in some of the big games as well too, it's not like his stats had to do a lot of the heavy lifting there. But again, this is also, for his benefit, a great situation to be in. And maybe he's gotten a little bit lucky in that type of way. Go to Michigan, go to Minnesota, play with great coaches, great defenses, and weapons around him to help bring him along in his game. But regardless, you still got to maximize your situation. And he was definitely doing that in the fourth quarter of that game. In the second half, making the big clutch plays, clutch throws. And, kind of in the middle of the field, like between windows type stuff, which, again, you go like in the NFL, the windows are a little, there's like, the windows close faster and the guys, and there's nowhere to throw the football. And you just, of course, got to be amazing. But that's obviously true. But maybe it's a little NBA-ish compared to the Michigan offense is a little compact, chat. It is what it is. It's that run game, heavy formations, play actions, a lot of tight ends. There's some underneath stuff worked in there. Like, again, it's really, there are big plays that we were able to get, breaking off big runs and explosive passes at times, like McCarthy. And a lot of those plays, like, to be honest, and there were some plays early in the season where, shout out to former Michigan quarterback Devin Gardner, was doing a great job of breaking down some of that film room stuff on his YouTube channel. But there were some plays early in some of those McCarthy games where he was going off script. And again, it was against some defenses that were not necessarily the defenses that you're going to be going back to scout for the NFL, unless you're Arch Manning and you need to see the good games. It's like, okay, well, we're going back to those defenses. But, McCarthy had some good other matchups as well, too, that maybe you were watching in there. But, yeah, he was just, again, maybe providing an extra element at the quarterback spot they didn't have, where guys could, and maybe, even some guys' ability to actually run the script was a little bit, not as great as we thought. But still, McCarthy's ability to see an opportunity and actually be able to take advantage of it as well, and be able to know what the play stuff is and the football talent and the reads, what was there to some degree as well too. So, again, for him to have an offense that's a little bit more spaced out, a little bit faster, maybe not necessarily all those just, everybody up by the line of scrimmage to pause tight sets. Like, it could be interesting to see how that affects his game as well. The stats part of it is definitely going to be an opportunity there. Just, he's going to have more pass attempts in the NFL. It is where it is. A couple more games, make no mistake. But again, I guess, more opportunity. But with the way that Michigan offense was, again, he's just going to have more yards and more stuff. But he is in an offense that may actually, with the way it is a little bit more, again, receiver heavy, might actually benefit his game a little bit more. Where maybe the Minnesota thing was the receivers can kind of create after the catch. Again, with some of the run game stuff, there's a protection of the quarterback pause element in there as well too. So the fact that he can actually be the one to help elevate the receivers a little bit is good as well too. And I know that he was really relying on Thielen a little bit there, who was a guy that he's got some familiarity with some of the offseason workouts. They were talking about that a little bit on the broadcast. But he was finding Jefferson a couple times. I don't know if we go see what Jefferson's stats were in this game. But it's tough to, again, walk away from the game and say that he didn't show a lot of stuff as a potential number one guy. So, yeah, only ended up with even 143 yards as well, too. Must have got a lot of that in the second half near the end of the game. So I guess Jefferson wouldn't have gotten a ton of crazy stats. But 4 for 44, again, as the volume continued, 20 attempts, so they were able to win the game. And the Bears offense, because, again, there was a methodical nature to it as well, too, they were kind of working some clock there. 17 rush attempts for Swift, 35 passes for Caleb Williams. So I guess Mason had 15 rush attempts as well, too, for Minnesota. Aaron Jones had 8 for 23, along of 9. But again, I don't think they necessarily have a run game to sort of protect McCarthy in that type of way. Like, he's actually going to have to step up and be that type of quarterback. Because, again, Darnold was that for him last year. And I know that the Seattle offense is different and the Seattle team is structured a little bit differently than this Minnesota team. But McConnell was still able to scheme up stuff for him. And when it came to throwing the ball down the field, again, Darnold was just really accurate at it last year. And, they won 14 games. So McCarthy maybe a little more diverse. Who knows if it's a little bit more intermediate with some sprinkling in of the, more explosive deep play type stuff. But again, he does seem like a guy that could get this team back to, and chat, I don't want to start talking like sleeper Super Bowl stuff after week 1, but there is, of course, a roster that is in place for Minnesota. There's a balance that's there with the defense. Like, so the offense is good enough to be able, I think, to score. But again, they didn't score a lot, so we'll just, I guess, we need to, of course, pump the brakes a little bit as well, too, because I think, like we're saying, there's some playmaking stuff on the other. Like, it wasn't like there was, again, an opportunity for the Bears to win. So if Caleb Williams also with some of the fourth quarter stuff just continues to build that confidence, then that type of scenario might become a more dangerous scenario in the future. But again, McCarthy was the clutch player in that game. And there's the Derrick Henry fumble, chat. Oh, man. 3 minutes left. Down 8 at that point. So this would have been leading into the tie. And then the 3 and out in the next possession. Or did they punt right after the Derrick Henry fumble? They did get it in pretty good territory. So I can't imagine that, they turned it over. But the 3 and out was a really standout play as well. Just standout series. Because it was oh man, are they trying to win this game type of thing. But yeah, like we're saying, the Vikings do look like at least a competitive guy in the competitive team in the NFC North. And I know that Bears fans were hopeful that maybe that was the team, and along with the Lions, that kind of take a step back from last year, maybe clear away a little bit for them to be in the playoff picture like that. But I don't know, Chad. I feel like, and again, 1-0, 0-1 start. It is what it is. But the Lions did look a little question marky early on, that's for sure. But there was, again, they were able to sustain their offense a lot in that game. And I know that, again, do we trust Goff as much as some of these other guys without the great play calling? And he had a couple of mistakes. It happens. Again, I don't know if Lions fans are going to say it like that, but in terms of him being a competitive regular season quarterback, I think he is still definitely there for that Lions team, and their defense still has playmakers on it. But McCarthy over Goff this year could be kind of a interesting thing to watch as well. And, if Mahomes keeps playing like this, Chad, we may have to just do like a weekly 2025 QB rankings and see where Mahomes is at this point, just in the this year type stuff. Because there was again, it was tough to see him missed some of the down the field throws. I mean, again, he's getting some plays later in the game as well too. But there was some impressive quarterback play. So, again, some guys stepping up like this as well. I mean, even with the way Flacco played, it's like, Flacco was on the Chiefs, Chad. Hey, yo. What kind of, distribution type thing would have been happening there? Andy Reid with Flacco. I mean, there's still 11 wins in the regular season, making mistakes. So can we write off Mahomes, Chad? It's like Andy Reid's winning 11 games. Alex Smith out here. Like, is Mahomes right now worse than any season that Alex Smith ever played? Alex Smith did have some good years as well, too. Did Alex Smith throw for 4,000 yards in the season? He had to have. Again, the Chiefs offense. Not too many receivers. But, a lot of tight end, a lot of Jamal Charles back in the day as well, too. And there was, is he 2015 or 2020? Which Alex Smith is it, chat? Ayo, tight end Alex Smith. I guess same draft class. And kind of both of them, decent grades as well, too. Obviously, Alex Smith, quarterback, a little bit lengthier there. Pause. But 11, okay, so 8 and 7. So this is like the 8 and 7 season. 11, 11, 9, and then 6 and 4 is still kind of in that same win percentage. 9 and 6, his best season ever, chat. 104 QB rating that year. That was his 4,000 yard year. 4,042 yards, 26 touchdowns, and 5 picks. His highest touchdown total. So, yeah, just his best stats here overall. Basically, lowest interception count, highest touchdowns, highest yards, second highest completion percentage as well. The quarterback rating was best in the league. And then you can see the impact in here reflected in approximate value. 17's pretty good. You start getting that 17, the high teens into the low 20s. It's going to be leader of the league. Usually it's like a great season. You're 25, whatever. I don't know if there is anybody with like a 30 on the approximate value stat for Pro Football Reference. But that is pretty good there as well, too. So he was, of course, stepping up and impacting games, not necessarily just being a total system quarterback per se. Got some good advanced stats going in his favor. But, yeah, shout out to McCarthy and Josh Allen, I guess, for getting the wins like they did. Keon Coleman stumbling down to the inside the 10. And I think the parlay that we mentioned as well, too, going into the Sunday night game did hit. It was not that aggressive looking back. I mean, again, with the offensive game, it was easy enough to get stats. But I think we had Ravens to win the first half and Keon Coleman plus 25, literally plus 25 receiving yards. And there was another, pause, one more leg in there that gave us nice 7-1 odds. But, 3 pretty similar. Oh, was it just a Josh Allen touchdown? It might have been Ravens to win the first half. Oh, wait, maybe like first half spread. Because I don't know if you can actually bet the first half money line in the same game parlays. But it was like a Ravens first half something with a Josh Allen touchdown and Keon Coleman, like 25 yards. It was like 7-1. Something along those lines. So I don't know. Go back and check the tapes chat and see what the bet was back then. But I think it did cash. So maybe if we checked it, we'd double check it and say it wouldn't cash. But yeah, I guess that's what led down to the game-winning field goal then, where we were talking about that drive late in the game. So, again, shout out for a classic, rewatchable NFL game instantly. First game of the season, Sunday night, is definitely a crazy way to start the year. But, chat, it's not the only historic thing we've got fired up to watch in the background here tonight. We've also got, like we were saying, about as classic of a classic that you can probably throw on in the background. I don't know, is this movie a background movie for people these days? But the thing with, of course, older movies is that they are, a nice, timely watch. So, chat, don't go anywhere because we got 65 years later, we're going to be rewatching Psycho. It is what it is. But, hey, yo, chat, we got a special treat. A special treat. Look at this, chat. Let's see if we can get this fired up here and get the chat rolling. Hey, yo, IT's going to be a little... Speaking of, week 1 Rust chat, IT might have to work a second to remember how all of this works. Okay, let's see. Chat, look who it is. It's our guy Sam making the return. Chat, give it up, a round of applause for Sam. He's a married man now. Of course, you know, still his same charming self, but now with a ring and a missus and the whole thing. How's it been going, chat? What do we got? It's been like a week since the wedding, right? Am I remembering it correctly? A week and a half?
Yeah, no, it's been a little bit. It's been a little bit. It's been a whirlwind. I've definitely missed being on the pod, talking
we missed
with you, chopping it up. But yeah, no, it's good to be back. You know, popping in and out. You know, got a lot going on, work stuff. You know, of course, wedding stuff. But you know, I was really glad to, of course, have you there, Rem. And, you know, we appreciate the congratulations. You know, we heard your review. You know, I didn't realize, you know, of course, I was obviously busy with the wedding stuff. I didn't get a chance to check on the pod. And then I was looking yesterday and I saw you were recording while in the Bay. That's how you know the dedication is real. The grind is real across the country, and you still putting in hours long episodes. So I gotta tell you, Ram, that I was thoroughly impressed. We both were impressed.
Well, you know, they were able to cook up a good road setup for us. Fortunately, the hotels made it all work. I mean, you know, you were able to really hook us up with the hotel that made it all happen. So, I mean, shout out to the little room that we had in the Bay for like the first night or two when we got there. But make no mistake, it might not have been quite studio ready. So when we got into the actual wedding location, it was great because, you know, it was of course conveniently located, but also able to kind of double duty as well too. And you know, it was a beautiful day as well. We were happy to be there. Great excuse to make a trip out and see it. And I mean, it was dangerous to have us make the trip and kind of learn how it goes as well too, because make no mistake, you might just randomly be seeing us, and so you're gonna be on the BART and you're gonna be like, who's that? Is that Rem on the BART? And you're like, yeah, we know how this goes now.
Spotted.
No, I seeing us take a random trip. Basketball season.
How was the travel? Was the travel all good for you? Getting there, getting back?
Yeah. We didn't have any issues. I feel like I almost don't want to say this because I feel like once I say this, it's never gonna happen again. But I've been one of like the luckiest plane people traveling. Just when it comes to seating, I haven't really ever had like an inconvenient seating issue. And maybe this is just flying back into town. Maybe the flights aren't like as crazy booked as they are, you know, for some other places. But basically every time I've flown back from somewhere into town, I've always had the row to myself. And it's been like a pretty decently full flight. So again, it's just
that's
like,
crazy.
We're checking every box, smooth sailing, great time. And even to have things like that go.
Is it the airline maybe? I mean, like, who do you usually take? You know, might get a shout out for a potential sponsor.
Well, I mean, we can shout out American Airlines anyways because they had the bodyguard and inside man just queued up on demand to be watching the flight. I can't believe American Airlines is the only place that's streaming the bodyguard. Hollywood, step up! But I mean, at least we were able to watch it on the flight there, so that was fun. And I don't want to say, but I feel like maybe the person at the desk might have hooked us up on the first flight, but I don't know what happened on the second flight. Was definitely lucky for sure on the return flight.
Okay. No, that's a huge shout out. And we appreciate you being there. But we got to push back a little bit. I will say I was impressed by how many drinks you took, and we still couldn't get you loose, man. You were like 4 or 5 drinks in, still standing like, bro, we gotta work. We gotta help you out, man.
I think the bartender
out here shooting shots.
The bartender was making very volume-friendly drinks. That's for sure. We'll put it that way.
Oh, you think they were loose? I don't know.
I think actually, I do think that it was just like higher quality stuff that I'm used to drinking, and I think just the ease at which maybe the drinks we're drinking was a little bit different than some other places. But I mean, yeah, it's great stuff. And I mean, just in general, I feel like our vibe is more like outer ring of the dance circle than maybe inner ring. But
we had to get you in the middle. You had to have your little bit, your little solo.
For a second.
Oh my goodness.
I'm a supporting player when it comes to the dance circles type stuff.
But you have any good conversations? Meet anyone?
Whatever.
Did you get to see Mark in person, or
just kind of move and keep myself the best I can? But what do you do? Sometimes you just end up talking to somebody.
That's crazy. Shout out. Well, I did want to announce on the pod, we do have the honeymoon plan set up,
Whoa.
and we are excited to go to Cancun.
Oh, okay.
Thanks to the many generous donations to the registry and all that, and we got some family hookups, some family discount, moves were
You gotta
made,
pull the
and
strings.
so yeah, we are first couple of weeks in October, or about a week in Cancun, so we're excited. We're really, I'm ecstatic. I'm just, it's bad at work. I can barely focus. Like
Yeah.
it's because it's like obviously a lot more exciting than the wedding. Like the wedding's like
Yeah, it's
fun, but it's still
chaos.
like some work. I'm like, but this is like we're flying. It's a week long, all inclusive vacation at a resort. So I'm pumped. I haven't been out of the country in a long time. And it might be the first trip for some. So we're excited. I'm
Mmm.
really excited, and it's just funny because I've had to teach her the like 1, 2, 3 Cancun joke over and over. So I think we
Yeah.
got it drilled in now. So yeah.
Wait, teach it for the people at home that might not know what the 1, 2, 3 Cancun joke is.
So I believe it was it was like during the NBA playoffs, you
Oh,
know,
okay.
yeah, the Cancun. I think it was this
I gotcha.
Shannon Sharp or something. Like I think
We're talking
there was.
NBA.
The original was when there's, I don't know where it's at, but I guess during one of the NBA playoffs. So Cancun's a very popular place to vacation. And full disclosure, I know it's like the first step area to vacation. I'd rather go with a safe option for the first time, taking an all-inclusive resort. So I totally understand. It's
Well,
like,
there's a reason
the
people keep
McDonald's
returning to
of
it,
resorts. Exactly. Like it's like where everyone goes. Like it's not exclusive or whatever. But so
Yeah, what are you
it's
gonna be bummed out? Another wide receiver goes to Ohio State. It's like maybe there's
exactly.
a reason.
I know, like who knows? But so it's I think when they during the NBA playoffs, there was a team that knew they were gonna lose, and I think they broke down the huddle by saying 1, 2, 3 Cancun. But let me make sure. Let me get IT on it. Yeah, I think yeah. So during the 1998 playoffs, um, the Lakers
Ooh.
player Nick Van Exel, they facing a sweep by the Utah Jazz. It to break down the team to break down the huddle, instead of 1, 2, 3 Lakers, he said 1, 2, 3 Cancun. So yeah,
But I mean that is
they knew the
actually
game was
great though.
over. So
That is great.
yeah.
When you're losing like that and about to get swept, I mean that's the time. Maybe game one, it's
hmm
like, lock in a little
Well, and
bit.
they were down 3-0, and it was in a pregame huddle of game four.
Oh, pregame.
So, and it was supposed to be a joke, but Shaq got mad about it. I mean, I bet Kobe wasn't happy, and it's actually the reason why he got traded to the Nuggets. So, you know,
Not Denver or not Cancun, that's for sure. I think Denver's okay, but
exactly.
not
Not
Cancun.
he wasn't sent to Cancun or Shanghai, but yeah, that is the origin. So 1, 2, 3 Cancun is every time I've heard of it, that's the only time I've heard of it. But it'll be crazy to actually be there, be on the coast. I can't wait. I'm pumped. I can't focus on literally anything else this whole
You said
weekend.
it's the beginning of the next month?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh yeah, so it is getting close.
yeah.
That's great. I mean,
It is, we got like 20 days, 20-ish days.
a whole week out for a trip. Yeah, I mean you're right because again the ceremony's great. The ceremony's great for people like me that literally just show up and have a good time. But like the chaos of
Yeah.
planning it and actually invested into pulling off the whole thing successfully. I mean again, just like being like, oh, I got to get a plane ticket and a hotel is like crazy enough for me. So I imagine that
No,
actually
we
being able to
appreciate
just
you made it.
relax, take a trip is
Yeah.
actually again that's going to even heighten the greatness of the trip as well
No, we're
too.
excited. I'm
But
excited.
are you
But
gonna be are you gonna be able to watch the Chiefs in Cancun, or is that gonna be an excuse to take the
yeah, I mean,
NFL
I'll have
Sunday
my
off?
phone. We'll have Wi-Fi. I'll keep track. Who knows? We might do a live look at it while in Cancun. I don't know. We'll talk to IT, see what we
I
can
don't know. I
get
may say save
hooked
the
up.
Chiefs when you get back if you want to have a good
Oh
time.
my gosh. Oh my gosh. Who knows? Maybe they're ready for Cancun the way they're playing. But
Mike up the next huddle for the Chiefs. Hey, yo.
Jeez, let's hear it. But no, let's not talk about the Chiefs. Let's talk about the Colts. Is this the most excited you have been for your team since Andrew Luck or since Anthony Richardson got traded?
Unfortunately,
Or not traded, but drafted?
unfortunately not. I was gonna say I think actually Anthony Richardson getting drafted is still the most excited I've been for recently because at the end of the day we still have Daniel Jones, right? So it was fun,
Mm,
but I think that game was definitely more about the Dolphins like kind of imploding on themselves, right? I mean the
yeah.
Colts offense being able to have that consistency definitely says a lot about the team. And if anything, if this season could reinforce how maybe good Steichen could be as a head coach, that would be a big win for the season as well too, because definitely the quarterback situation there was going a little bit sideways. But there was,
Mm,
because it's both new for Steichen and for Richardson, there's questions about who is responsible, in a way, for
yeah.
what's going on. And again, I'll probably always have stock to some degree in Anthony Richardson as a success. Like, if he just gets to the right spot with the right tools, the right development, he has the tools, but with the right development, he might be able to at least be productive. But just if Steichen is able to confirm that the Philly stuff is not a fluke, the way he was able to help Jalen Hurts out, and then being able to make Daniel Jones look like a, above average, really good starter level quarterback as well too, would be a really fun thing. But I still don't really know how to feel about the season because I honestly don't know how to feel about the quarterback class yet either. I mean, the Arch Manning thing is
Mm,
definitely a little bit of a shaky thing. And the have been guys that are playing well, but I don't know if anybody has
yeah.
quite stepped up and sees like a number one spot. It's early, we're 2 games in. But
Yeah.
it may be a
Well,
little
one for y'all.
yeah, and 2 for college as well too. But it
Yeah.
may be a little bit more question marks around the quarterback spot for who the Colts could take. I guess Sellers as well too could be pretty fun. But
Yeah. Oh, you mean two for college? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. But I don't know what the
You're
end
you're
game.
out on Cade?
I haven't necessarily been like had him up at the top of my list. I mean, maybe if I watch more
Okay.
highlights, probably just a lack of watching. But
Club neck, I'm just saying.
I know I have friends that really like Klubnik, so it's not that
Yeah.
I don't get the Klubnik propaganda sometimes. But I
Mhm.
necessarily haven't had him top of our watch list. But I don't know what the end goal for the season is outside of the fact that like the support system would be really really solid again at the end of the year.
Yeah, I mean, I think Daniel Jones, it definitely was a little bit of the flash in the pan. He had 197 yards in the first half, first time he's ever done that for his career. So, I don't know, but Lou Anarumo is
Yeah, and we
very
have
much
Lou.
a respected DC, and so I'm not super surprised, that it was really good. Tyler Warren, I know I heard a lot of buzz about,
Mm-hmm.
about how good he's going to be. So, yeah, but no, I definitely agree. The Dolphins definitely, I mean, it was a lot by them. I mean, they had 43 total yards in the first half. Well, Indy ran 43 plays. So,
Whoa.
it's not, it was just a mess everywhere. Even McDaniel, I think he mentioned like they were -3 on the turnover game. They like ran into the kicker, 12 guys in the huddle. Like, it's just
Mm-hmm.
only 20 minutes with the ball. Like, literally everything that could go wrong did go wrong. And it was a yikes. It was a yikes. But all of that doesn't matter because of the breaking news that came out today. Charlie Irsay, what's her last name? Gordon was wearing a headset on the
Oh
sideline.
yeah.
And so, did she do that years ago? I don't know. Everyone was acting like she did it this past weekend, and that's the reason why they won. I'm now seeing that maybe it was years ago. I don't know, but
She's definitely been on the sideline in the past, and now she is obviously. I guess I don't know her exact title, but R.I.P. Jim Irsay, the guy that was, I guess, because he's a junior situation as well too. I think maybe, but of course, R.I.P. Jim Irsay because he passed away this past year. So now the ownership of the
yeah,
team transfers. Her actual responsibility in the football decision making is of course increased. I'm sure it's been increasing as well too, because I mean Irsay's health was diminishing there a little bit as well. But yeah,
she
she is.
apparently also has a call sheet in her hand. I don't know. I mean, is this the most locked in we've ever seen an NFL
Yeah,
coach?
let's go.
I mean, NFL owner, at least in the first week.
Do you want? I guess is this good? Do we want the NFL owner to be? Is this too hands on, or is this just because I guess there is like of course, like a micromanaging thing that could be a little bit too much. But is this just kind of like, because like when we hire new managers at the restaurant, like obviously they get
Yeah,
like trained as managers, but a lot of times
exactly.
they'll have to work a training shift at the individual like other spots in the restaurant. So they'll like
Mm-hmm.
learn how to be a server by just working a server, and they'll train as a new server with the server, or they'll train as a new bartender with the bar. So it's like, yeah, this guy's gonna be a manager, but he's training in all the different. So maybe she's just doing that. You know, she's gonna be the owner, but
Yeah,
she's just kind of in the background observing everything. So hopefully this is obviously not, again, just like I'm going to be committed to, but I guess if she's smart and the decisions are good, at the end of the day, if
exactly.
you have a good decision maker, it doesn't really matter. I guess it's just sort of the stereotypical thing of the owner themselves being too involved. But I guess the reason that would be a problem is
Mm,
because of their knowledge compared to the person running it. And if she actually has the
yeah.
knowledge that's comparable, then that would kind of solve that issue, right?
Yeah, and I mean, I guess that's the point of her wearing the headset is building that knowledge because she knows, she's not as experienced, and so she's trying to get those on the field reps. It's just, how much is it gonna really be like, how much can is she gonna really be involved? It's just one of those stories where it's like, I think I saw the ESPN caption was like, oh, the Colts haven't won, blah, blah, blah. And then this week she wore the headset and now they won 33 to 8. And it's like, all right,
It is
like
true though. They were saying that we haven't won a week one game in 11 years.
that's
That's
insane.
crazy. I didn't even
That's
realize
insane.
that. It just becomes habit.
All just rough starts. Yeah,
And
that's
we
crazy.
have had obviously good seasons in the past 11 years. So it's not like I'm remembering every year as like, "Oh, that was the start of a disastrous year." But
Yeah,
that's crazy that we've in multiple head coaching cycles gotten off on the wrong foot in that type of way.
that's tough.
But yeah, obviously it was a great game. I mean, we're literally the best team in the league, so that's kind of fun. And it's fun to at least have a positive moment in the season cuz there was like a fan survey early in the off or later in the offseason that was like the Colts have like the unhappiest fan base in the league
That's
going into the
fine.
season, and it would just seem like really
Did you do
down.
the survey?
Yeah, I think IT might have been out there knocking on doors, but it just seemed like everybody was, of course, really out on what the ultimate potential of the season is. So I think that's still
Yeah.
a little bit there, but at least it's like, okay, good moments, fun games, highlights from the other players is good. And you mentioned Warren as
Hmm.
well too. Like Warren, I think
Yeah.
with the rest of the supporting cast, like is as impactful in elevating a quarterback as well too.
Exactly.
And I was thinking about this, with seeing him play really well. And of course, you guys have had Kelsey there over the last several years, in addition to Tyreek Hill as
Hmm.
well too. But is that tight end? Because now they're even being more receiver focused, of course, than they were in the back in the day. Like, is there a value to that in helping the quarterback play more so than actually like a number one receiver? Like if you had to choose at the peak of their powers, and I know again you're biased, so you're going to take Kelsey, but
Yeah, of course.
would you take Kelsey, or I guess yeah, Tyreek Hill could be just a great other out. Like, would you rather have the elite wide receiver or the elite tight end if you had to
I
choose?
Well, I think we've seen that the tight end position has lasted longer in the league, and the run blocking part can actually be a big part of your offense when you look at like Kittle, Gronk, and I guess that's the main thing you can ding against Kelsey is that he really hasn't been at that level as those guys. But I think I think there's a lot more good wide receivers than there are good tight ends. And I think, you think of like most people like coming in outside of quarterback, like you want to be a wide receiver. So I think it is a lot harder to find a good tight end, and that's why they're so well known and so few. And yeah, I think they would just I think I'd much rather have a good tight end and then kind of have I think you can scheme up like kind of wide receivers being open. Like you kind of just need to be fast and kind of know your route. Like tight ends, it takes a lot more being a smarter down the middle, like of course protecting your own body because you're one of the bigger targets, but then also like blocking. Like I think there's a lot more to it in terms of like it is harder to teach someone how to be a good tight end. While like wide receivers, we can see them like as long as you mostly keep up your speed and like don't suddenly forget a route tree, like you're gonna be good.
And you see like Brock Bowers too for the Raiders as well, because like
Yeah,
you're right. Like Kelsey is definitely as part of the new age tight end thing. Like the blocking isn't necessarily there in the same type of way. Warren has a little bit of that in his game as well too. More of a pass catching focus type guy. I mean Loveland as well, that was drafted before him for the Bears, is definitely more of a pass
yeah,
catching first tight end. And Bowers is I guess maybe the football people would be able to speak more on his toughness, blocking type stuff, but he is, of course, just more of a really physical after the catch, like bigger number one receiver type. And as that becomes more of the actual thing that there is, like the tight end is kind of course, now becoming like two things. You have a blocking tight end, you have a receiving tight end. And it does seem like those guys are, like I was saying, yeah, I guess it is a little bit harder, but when they do find the elite guy, like them working underneath and the ease at which sometimes the quarterback is able to get those guys the football, and then those guys can create after the catch as well. I guess you can do that with the receivers as well, too, in the screen game type stuff. And, there are great receivers that you just start throwing it down the field to them, and they're just going to make catches every time. And I guess I'm just going to be biased now because I have a great tight end, too, in Tyler Warren. But I am kind of wondering if
you're already in.
I'm already in. Warren's great as well,
great.
too.
Okay.
And I was a little hesitant just because Ballard has drafted so many tight ends that it's like, okay, Ballard's just taking another tight end. Like, obviously he's going to be good, but, variety is the spice of life here. But, again, I am wondering if that is becoming a little bit more impactful in some type of way. Like, I don't know. Like, I guess CeeDee Lamb's just dropping passes at the end of the day. So it's like, would you rather have him or Brock Bowers? I guess Brock Bowers is going to make the catches. But Dak does have to seem to be a little bit of a better quarterback to get CeeDee Lamb involved. And, Jefferson as well has had, like, great production without necessarily having elite quarterback play in the past. But I am wondering, it's something that I guess I'll see what happens. Because I guess a guy like McBride as well is more of like a pass-catching tight end, but I don't know if he has the same type of yards after the catch ability that maybe some of the guys do. So maybe that's just that's kind of a unique thing, and then that, of course, would be unique to some of the receivers as well, outside of just the route running and the pass catching and all different stuff. But yeah, shout out to the Colts. The Dolphins, of course, are gonna be in for a little bit of a rough season this year. I mean, I feel like you have to mention your vibes for the Chiefs at some point. Like, I don't the Super Bowl. I don't know if you're still like thinking Super Bowl type stuff. I mean, that's obviously going to be there at the end of the day. But are you worried that this like goes totally off the road and you guys miss the playoffs, like wild card elimination? Like, are you thinking worst case scenarios yet after 1 week?
No, I mean, I will say Justin Herbert is the best other quarterback in our division. And every year it's always close against them, and they got us this time. And I will say, of course, losing, Xavier Worthy hurts, not having Rashee Rice also. So I think, like, these first couple of weeks will be tough. I haven't seen Xavier Worthy's status. I don't know if you know.
He's supposed to return soon. I guess I don't know if he's going to be in the next game or not, but they were talking like he's going to be back quicker.
Okay.
Or at least he's going to try to get back on like a brace or something. I just saw a headline that said he was trying to play in a brace.
Jeez. But let me see here. Our first couple weeks.
Because I mean, once they pop it back in, does it have to heal?
Yeah, but I think it's usually fine. I mean, I will say these first couple weeks are kind of tough because we did just play the Chargers, and then we have the Eagles, and then at home. And then we got to go to New York, and then we got to have the Ravens at home, and then Jags and Lions. I mean, this schedule is a murder's row. Because then, of course, I mean, I'm just reading off the schedule, but it's tough. Like, then we have the Raiders, but Commanders and Bills also the next couple weeks. So, and like our first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 weeks. In our first 9 weeks, we played the Bills, Commanders, Lions, Ravens, Eagles, and Chargers. Like 6 out of the 9 weeks, we're playing an elite team, like top 10. Some people would put in the top 5. So it's gonna be rough. It's gonna be rough starting out. The rest of the season does smoothen out as we play the Broncos, of course the Colts, Cowboys, Texans, Chargers, Titans, Broncos, Raiders. So I think it will peter out. I think this first couple of weeks we might be like a little bit of a losing record. We might be like 2-3. It might be like 3-4. Who knows? It's gonna be close. But I think as the season progresses, as we get better, gain strength, rolling steam, I think we will. I still think we'll either win the division or be a game within winning the division, and I think we'll definitely be in the playoffs. I can definitely see like in the fall Chiefs being a wild card, and someone's like, I don't know, Jim, this is still a good playoff team, even if they had a rough start. But we're gonna have a rough start. Yeah, I mean, there's no way we can just ignore the games that the Eagles and the Ravens just had. Like
That's true.
it's gonna these next couple of weeks are gonna hurt, and everyone's gonna have their day in the sun. But
And the
I
schedule,
don't.
it
Yeah,
does
I
get a
don't.
little easier at the
We'll
end of the season,
see.
like you're saying.
It
So
does. It does. Yeah.
there is a nice, like, as right as it maybe starts to get desperate, you could reel off a couple wins in a row and get back
Yeah.
into the
Getting into a
playoff
wild
picture.
card. Yeah.
But it
I just
does.
hope Mahomes doesn't strain himself and get hurt. We'll see. I mean, again, like I said,
Mm,
I don't have necessarily. I definitely think we're an underdog this year, and I know every year you're like underdog, underdog, but I mean, it's got to revert to the mean at some point. Like, yeah, last year we had a lot of lucky wins, and I think this year it's going to be a lot. It's going to be obviously a lot tougher. Our own division's a lot better and good in general. So chances are, I do think my prediction would be that we get in as a wild card, we win our 3 games, and then I think we will lose in the championship game on the road,
oh, so you think the
probably in
streak's gonna keep
Buffalo.
going?
Yeah, I think we're gonna lose. No, yeah, I don't think it's gonna be a home game though.
But you
So
want,
I think we're
honestly, you
gonna.
just want to keep the AFC title streak going for this season. That's
Yeah,
that's your only goal
yeah.
right now.
I think he. Yeah, I think he'll. Yeah, that is my ceiling. I think for this team right now because there's just so much. I think we'll see. I mean, Mahomes has continued to beat expectations, but I do think. I really do think. I mean, and this is week one overreactions. I love the Ravens, but I really do think the Bills. It is their division and to lose or their conference to lose, and I would be very surprised if it's not a Bills Eagles Super Bowl.
And it didn't really seem like anybody in the AFC jumped out in a major way besides those teams. Like, I gotta be
Yeah.
honest, like, just drive to drive, like the Browns look like one of the best teams in the AFC in that second half, and it was really the way the defense played and just Flacco just controlling the pace of the offense for so long. But like outside, yeah, the Colts are obviously the next best performance, but roster wise, like we're saying, maybe they're a little underrated. I guess Pittsburgh would have been the other team with their game against the Jets, both of those teams.
You know.
But we're still not going to put Rodgers obviously on the trust level of those
Oh,
guys.
are
So
you back in though? He had a decent game.
I
I don't
think
know if
they
it was
could
that
definitely be a
good.
playoff team. But did you watch them in week one? Like, I
A
guess
little
were you
bit,
more
yeah.
scared of just the Chiefs dropping a game more so than just the Steelers like winning that one, right? Like, you don't think
Yeah,
Rodgers
I
would
mean,
go in there and put like 37 on the Chiefs?
no, and I mean we're not playing them, so I mean chances are it'd be like
I
a
just mean like
wild
in a
card
playoff
game.
type game too.
Yeah, yeah. I think they would be actually a perfect wild card team that we'd kind of play. And I think we definitely could take it to them. But yeah, actually, yeah, they might because that AFC North always is super competitive. So is it AFC North or
Yeah.
yeah, it is North. Yeah, because East is Patriots and all of them. But
Yeah.
yeah, I do think, yeah, I think those 3 teams are gonna make it, the Bengals, the Ravens, and Steelers. And it is gonna, and I could see us having to go to Pittsburgh, but I think we would beat Aaron Rodgers. At that point, he's probably more banged up. And I mean, if I had to give a rough guess, I mean, yeah, probably the Steelers. Next round is either the Ravens or the Bills.
Chargers
I think
revenge.
I don't think the Bengals have enough. No, they choke every year.
Oh
Um,
wait, you're going conference championship loss.
yeah, I'm probably doing conference championship loss. That's my prediction thrown out there. What's your prediction for the Colts? Whoa.
The Colts, I think we probably. I don't even. I should. Do they think they've updated the over under? I mean, are we gonna win 7 games? Like honestly, like is Daniel Jones
Wow,
gonna win?
you're just so down. You're
That's
ready.
not
Are
down.
you like secretly
I thought we were
down
gonna
or
be
really
the number
down?
one pick before the year. I've just
That's not a
added.
winning record.
I just added 6 wins into the total after one. Remin Sam Advanced Models had him going 0-17. So I mean,
Oh
this
my gosh,
is an impressive rise.
that's crazy.
No, I
You
think they can
don't
be
think you can
competitive
have a
week to
winning
week,
record?
but I don't know. Do I even why would I want this team to make the playoffs outside of just again Steichen like keeping his job around and being a really good coach? But if Steichen's also
That's
not
true.
a future coach, then and this is just a fluke week, like let's figure that out as well too. Like I'm just here to figure out,
Yeah.
who's here to stay. We got to go back in the quarterback cycle. It is what it is. So I don't know if
But
we're gonna be back in like the patchwork quarterback cycle next year. Like speaking of
yeah,
Tua, are we gonna get Tua next year? Like who's the veteran guy that's gonna be floating out there
that's
that
crazy.
just is gonna
You
be?
don't want to,
Yeah,
man.
of
You
course
don't
we don't
want
want
to
Tua.
after the last. But I will say after that, after the last game, the Texans still have O line issues.
Yeah.
So you guys could stumble your way into a division win. I
We
don't know.
could
I
be a
mean, I
wild
don't
card
think the
team.
Titans have enough, but well, if you win your division,
You think we could win the AFC South?
I think you could
I
win
think
it.
the
Yeah.
Texans are like they're gonna definitely take one on us for sure. Pause, and I think that they might sweep us just a matchup based. They sort of elevate their game. They know that they need to
Yeah.
win those AFC South games to help their playoff thing
No, they
as
have
well
to.
too. So I think the Titans are gonna be really feisty by the end of the year. I mean, Cam
Yeah.
Ward is really good, except for the fact that some of his receivers can't hold in place. So they could even be
Exactly.
like a team that trades for a guy as well too. Oh, I was gonna
I
ask you
mean,
about
top
this.
to bottom, you guys have the best roster in the division. I mean, I know you really don't like Daniel Jones, but he's not that bad. Like he's bad,
You think our
but
roster's better than the Texans still? Taking the quarterbacks off of it?
yeah, I mean, like Mixon's out. You know, obviously Will Anderson's good, but I mean, y'all look really good this past week.
And our secondary is a little like we've had some young guys just not be healthy over the last couple. And the I was talking
Yeah.
about this Sunday, but the Cam Bynum signing is real. I think he's just a really good
Yeah,
safety back
he's a
there.
safety.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, we're pro Cam Bynum on this pod. So
All right.
they got,
Didn't he have a pick?
I think so, yeah, and they got
Yeah, I think he got
Ward
an
as well
interception.
too at corner now. Your former
Oh,
Chief.
okay.
So I don't know if it's the right
Yeah,
time, but
geez.
you know,
It might be championship mentality in the locker room.
yeah, just having him on the roster is good. I've always wanted to have him on the team. So, I mean, my guy,
All
every
right.
time I hear like Simmons talking about, he's like, oh, these GMs just love these guys all these years, and they get washed up, and they're like, now I can finally get him on my team. I'm like,
Exactly.
that'd be totally me. Like Shavarius Ward all these years, it's like
Oh my
finally
gosh.
he's washed. I'm like, now I can sign him. Nobody wants him. He's $2 million a year or whatever. But like you're
That's
saying, if
crazy.
with some of the younger players are stepping up, like Juju Brents is being a productive corner stuff, like he could just be a veteran guy to have around.
Mm,
So I don't know. I don't want you to. I feel like you just are trying to get my hopes up because you know that the
a
season's
little
gonna
bit.
take a roller coaster turn after this.
You wanted to though.
No, I want us to get a quarterback. I want the
That's the
future.
point.
I want us to win a
Oh
Super
my
Bowl.
goodness.
So maybe we trade for a
We'll see.
quarterback.
Exactly. You got to trade up in the draft, man.
This could be a trade
You
up
gotta trade
draft.
up.
If the value's not there, but then who are we trading up for at this point? Plus, I like a lot of the defensive players in this draft as well too. So I'd like a nice pick to get like Caleb Downs or Ruben Bain would be kind of fun.
No,
But
Caleb Downs. But the thing is not that many teams actually need a quarterback. Like if you actually think about it, like who really doesn't have a quarterback besides you guys? Like, I mean, I guess I should probably pull up the standings.
can we trade for
Like,
Mahomes?
okay. Anyways, but I think if you trade up in the draft, I think you could definitely like I think most teams don't want a quarterback. They don't need a quarterback. Like, I mean, what are we looking at? Bills, Jets, I think want to probably give Fields another year. Patriots love Drake May. Dolphins pay Tua. Chargers is Herbert. Broncos, Bo Nix. Raiders. They're probably the only other team.
But I think
Um,
Gino's good, so they might keep him around for a couple years.
yeah, who knows? Steelers, I mean, who knows? I mean, they seem like they're in on Rodgers.
They
The
have to
rest of
be
the
thinking that they're going to get a quarter. They can't have Rodgers for 2
yeah.
years. That can't be the goal.
Okay, so the Steelers, the Browns have like 4 quarterbacks, so they've
Well,
got to figure
Shador's going
something
to be the
out.
guy, so they're fine.
Yeah, exactly. Your division, y'all are good. I mean, you go over to the NFC, like I'm maybe the Giants. I mean, Jackson Dart is getting a lot of preseason. He got a lot of love preseason.
I like Jackson Dart too.
So,
So I think
yeah,
he's a good
I
starter for
don't-
sure.
Nothing in the NFC West. I mean, who's the Seahawks quarterback?
Darnold?
Because Geno's gone. Yeah, Darnold. I don't. Who knows? Maybe they like Darnold. We'll see how this year goes.
Darnold would be a valid
Um,
guy for sure.
And then yeah, the Bucks have Baker Mayfield. Panthers,
Ooh,
Bryce
maybe he's
Young,
trading for
yeah.
Baker if Baker goes like 9 wins this year.
I guess so. The Steelers and the Saints are probably the two teams that, I mean, like Spencer Rattler, I don't think he's going to be doing much. So I think they're going to be the two teams that you might have to fight with. But like those are teams that are probably going to have decent records. At least the Steelers are going to be decent. So really, it's the Saints. Like unless they get a #1 pick, like you guys kind of will have a pretty open market on getting a quarterback. So even if you're good, like not a lot of people actually want a quarterback anymore.
I feel like the Panthers are going to be in a market for a quarterback too, unfortunately.
Yeah. Bryce Young at the end of last year looked kind of good though. He was looking good.
I love Bryce Young too, but like I don't if he's only going to play well at the end of seasons when they're 3-14, then I don't know what that means. And did you see that video of him getting distracted by like the cup game on the Jumbotron?
Are
Where it's
you
like they put
serious?
It's like they like have the ping pong ball under the party cups and like shuffle them around, and it's like guess which one it's under, and he's just like staring at the jumbotron, and then just goes out and throws a pick on the next play.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, it's like a
Let me
worse
see.
version of
Bryce Young
Kyler Murray.
distracted.
Like at least Kyler Murray gets distracted by cool video games, like in the off
Oh
time.
no, Bryce
Like,
Young was distracted by the jumbotron minigame. That's crazy.
that's wild. I've never seen a
He
quarterback
like
just
looks at it for 5 seconds and
he's just staring at it, like legitimately just like is he on a drug and
dang it,
just
I would have gotten it too.
locked in? Yeah, I don't know.
That's crazy.
I don't know who made the play call there or what happened, but it was not a good
think it
look
was a
for our guy Bryce
timeout,
Young, that's
yeah.
for sure. And definitely a team that if he's gonna have a turnaround season, maybe a team that he should have had a good week 1 performance against. I mean, we'll see, I guess, how
Yeah.
good the Jags are, but they didn't necessarily play stellar in that game either. So I think that that's a team that's probably gonna be pretty high up on draft list. I mean, maybe the Jags want a quarterback as well.
I don't know. It's with Trevor Lawrence. He plays just well enough that you're like, oh well, see if you squint. Look
Yeah,
at
I mean,
it.
I don't know.
You know, and you just that draft capital and the promise of him, and you're just like, you don't want another Sam Darnold situation where you give him up and you're like, oh man, you know.
Does he have any trade
But
value right now? Like, could you kind of
I
sell
mean,
like mini high
again,
on
who
him?
would want him? And NFL is really weird with trades. Like the value is just totally different from the NBA. But again, like I don't know if I'm a team, I'm not taking Trevor Lawrence. Like I'd rather take a chance on like a Cade Klubnik or something,
Would the Cowboys do
considering how
Lawrence for
old he is.
Prescott?
That feels like you're just going sideways, but you don't get as mobile a quarterback, I guess.
Do you have to? Who do the Jags have to put in a little bit more to get Prescott? Like Trevor Lawrence
Yeah,
and a pick?
maybe. Probably.
Maybe
That's what
Prescott's
I'd
a
do,
little older
Rick.
though.
I don't know. The way Jerry Jones is doing trades, they'll probably give up a pick.
I mean, do you just trade for Daniel Jones if you're the Jags? Just Trevor Lawrence for Daniel Jones?
That's funny.
But he
But
just got paid, so I don't know if we really want Daniel Jones as well. What about Kyler? Their
Micah
contracts might be
Parsons
similar.
looked crazy, by the way. That was crazy.
Yeah,
They
and just a
lost the
few
game.
snaps as well too.
It was insane.
What if that's just what if that's just the best way to deploy him through the season? Just like 35 snaps a game throughout the regular season, and then he can
Makes
just be
sense.
totally fresh for the playoffs. I mean, it could have been a good matchup, but
Yeah.
their secondary is pretty good, and I guess
Yeah.
the Lions offense was a little slower in that game. But if you're just deploying Parsons on like third downs this year, as like a designated pass rusher type, trying to keep him healthy for the playoffs. Like, he was impacting this game enough. He could still be in the Defensive Player of the Year conversation with the stats lines, and it almost could increase
You
his
never
stats
know.
if he's going out and getting one sack every 30, like in 30 snaps every game. Be like, well, his sack rate's it's like the greatest sack rate in NFL history. Pause. Like, his advanced numbers could be crazy. So maybe,
Yeah, but he's gonna want to be out there, you know.
yeah.
He's a player. He doesn't want to sit on the bench. Did you look at Travis Hunter highlights at all? I'm just looking at it right now, like
I mean, not much than what's just been showed on like the replays of
on
stuff.
something. I don't know if he played on defense, but
But he was like up there in receiving yards for the team. So, I mean, he received. He was I think the leading receiver for the team because maybe their tight end had more yards and catches and stuff as well too.
that makes
But
sense.
they were definitely throwing in the ball, and he might be a more of that like possession short yardage receiver as well, with Brian Thomas
Yeah.
being the vertical element. So if Lawrence is not able to get that vertical shot going, like as he was maybe some of the times last year, then maybe the Hunter element of the offense becomes a little easier for him to hit, and his stats could actually look good comparable to Thomas as well too. But I mean, he's a good
Nah, he's a
receiver,
real
obviously,
shifty.
so it's not like he's gonna not, I think he's been
Yeah.
his receiving skills are getting a little discredited because of the two-way thing. They did trade up a lot for just trading up for a receiver as well too. Like I get that they're not
Yeah,
necessarily
exactly.
going to get a Heisman guy on, but they're not going to get an All-Pro on both. They didn't just like jinx the system and trade up for one first-round pick for two players, but it's actually one guy. But he's still
Well,
a really,
I mean,
really
looking
good
at his
receiver.
mobility, he definitely feels still more like a cornerback than a receiver, really. Like, kind of how his body's built, like how flexible he is.
Yeah.
You know, it feels like he should be more on the defensive side, but I don't know.
You think he's
It
more
is-
built for corner? I thought he was a better receiver.
Honestly.
Wasn't he not a better receiver though at Colorado too?
maybe, but you just look at like how his body's built,
But he's
just mossing people.
But he's listed
Oh,
enough on
that's
the
fair.
depth chart where I think we'll see him play this year. I mean, if he's cute, if he's like
Yeah.
cornerback 4, then I mean that's like it feels like some defensive packages are just going to have him out there as cornerback 4, or
Yeah.
maybe some other safeties or something in front of him. I don't know. But I mean, he's probably like one injury away. One guy tweaks an ankle for a week and it happens.
Exactly.
I don't know. I think there might be 3 or 4 weeks where Travis Hunter gets good, both sides of the field type stuff.
Who knows?
I mean, do we need to see it? I mean, again, do you need a guy to be impactful both ways? Maybe if you trade all your first round picks for him, just be like, okay, this guy's gonna play every spot.
If he's going that high, you gotta at least try it one time. For the one time, at least one of the games.
But I still think he could be a really good receiver. But McMillan looked good as well too, and he was the other
Yeah.
number 1 guy in that range. And Travis Hunter again still was the pick in front of all these guys.
How's your fantasy doing?
I'm sitting fantasy out this year.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it is
Why?
what it is. I guess you can only take on pause so many things. So I guess
Oh my goodness.
fantasy just had to be one of the
Busy.
ones that was left behind. But daily fantasy's still locked in. So our daily fantasy lineup was okay this week.
Are we still with BetSmart? I mean, I know they don't do fantasy, but
Oh yeah, shout out BetSmart. Hey, yo, I don't have they dabbled into the daily fantasy yet? We'll have to
I
see.
don't think so, but
Check the link in the bio to see if BetSmart's got daily
I
fantasy.
know. Let us know. Come back and let us know.
We'll check it out if they do. But yeah,
Wait,
that seems like a
George
fun
Kittle
way
was on
to
IR?
stay in the mix, change up the new teams
Oh,
every
shoot.
week. So I'm good. I honestly,
Yeah.
I the last couple of years, I've really slipped on the week to week management and the waiver
it is
wire
tough.
stuff. I really have been. Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll just say it because I'm not playing fantasy this year. I've really been a pretty good
Yeah.
drafter, and I've been able to draft a team that's good enough to maintain. I can be a competitive team all year, but I haven't necessarily won the league, and it's been because there's been a waiver wire pickup that I missed. Or last year, I just didn't sub out Tyreek Hill when he was hurt for one of the games or
my
something,
gosh.
and I just lost a playoff game. And it was
Yeah.
if that's what's gonna happen, then maybe the one that's bad for the competitive balance of the league as well too. You can't just have a guy not subbing in guys in playoff games as well too.
That's
It's just
crazy.
not necessarily gonna bring out the most competitive fantasy environment. But yeah, I felt like if we were really only focused on draft night for fantasy, then that's 15 weeks versus one night. We'll just sacrifice the one night and
Okay.
maybe save the
That's tough.
rest of the 15 weeks. But yeah, that's I
tough.
guess.
No, I'm just looking at my
fantasy.
fantasy, seeing that.
So what do you got?
Already, San Francisco has injuries. I didn't really know his Kittle's on IR. Brock Purdy's
Oh.
questionable. And it's just oh my gosh, you guys literally played one game and we're already having problems.
What are you doing with Kittle?
Geez. All right, I gotta put him. I mean, he's on IR, so
Don't you
I'm not
got
gonna
a nobody over 28 years old on your fantasy team rule?
no.
You gotta just put an age limit on there.
That's funny. That's funny. He's hurt every year. No, I had an auto draft this year, so.
Oh.
They had the draft when I was busy doing other stuff, and I tried to vote for a different day, but of course, things didn't work out. So
Did you set your
I
queue?
was just no, because I don't trust in the queue. Look, the queue just don't work. It because they're gonna take all your picks, so you might as well just have the auto.
So
draft
you wanted your
instead of-
team to be auto drafted because the auto draft teams are secretly really good.
Yeah, it was A+. But the thing is doesn't your queue just take the next one after you're done? So you take if all your players are getting picked, then maybe your 7th round you would take it in the 2nd round instead of a good one. You know what I mean?
Well,
instead of a good
your
pick, it'll
queue
just take-
is just your own personal. If you auto draft, you're drafting based off the ESPN rankings. Your queue is your own personal rankings. So
Yeah, no, but my point being you're obviously going to stack them in the round you want them to go, but if they're going to get taken early, say your 2nd, 3rd, and 4th round guy are taken, but it's only the 2nd round, then you're drafting your 6th round guy in the 2nd round. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
that's
it's just
because
better to have auto
really
draft
it's
all of it.
more beneficial for a draft night round to round basis. You can queue up the guys you need for that round. I guess I was assuming that if you're gonna auto draft, you have to queue up everybody, and you have to rank them exactly how you want them. That's the only way to actually get it the way you want it. Because otherwise
It's all the people on the big board.
that's actually how you have to do it. Because otherwise,
otherwise
you're right. You're just gonna take your second round.
Yeah.
I want this guy, as like a sleeper
Exactly.
in the third, fourth round, but then he ends
Exactly.
up being like like way higher up
Your
as like your
first round
second
pick,
round. Yeah,
yeah. No,
yeah.
I that would make me quit. So there we go.
So if you
I
auto draft, you're
couldn't.
just going based off of the ESPN ranking. So it's got everybody pre-ranked for you. So yeah,
Yeah.
it is the way to do it. But it does
No, I get
trend. It
it. I
does
get
seem
what you
like
mean.
those teams can trend a little more veteran, a little more older. But I guess that's what happens is you
Yeah.
do
Well, that's what
overdraft
they pick. You know.
some of the up and coming
Yeah.
talent.
They're not gonna get you the sleepers. You know.
Wait,
But
so
yeah,
what's your team
AJ
look
AJ
like? You got
Brown did me
Kittle?
bogus. So actually, this is the first year I'm doing a keeper league,
Ooh.
and yeah, I wish I had done one last year when I got like Xavier Worthy in the eighth round, but whatever.
Yeah.
But this year for my for the keeper league, I got Kyler Murray, and then or actually I had Brock Purdy, AJ Brown, Garrett Wilson, Saquon, who's carrying hard carrying, Tracy, and then I had Kittle, went on IR, Devontae Smith, Jalen Waddle, and then I think it's Jesse Bates and Detroit defense. So
Mm.
yeah, I have another team that's a normal league, but I'm 0-2 in both, or 0-2 over the weekend. So yeah, just recovering, licking my wounds. You know, we'll be back. We'll be back.
I don't know if you will be. It sounds like you'll be on IR for a lot of the season for some of those
Yeah, I don't
guys.
know. Some of them, we'll see.
We'll have to see.
It doesn't
I was
matter
gonna
though.
ask you about this though. Back to the real Chiefs. Would you be interested in
The
trading for
real
Tyreek
Chiefs.
Hill? Would that solve your problems?
Yeah, I would be. I mean, that'd be ridiculous if we had Xavier Worthy, Rasheed Rice, and Tyreek.
You think he's good? I
But
think he might be gettable.
he would be. I think after this past weekend, I think he wants to leave. Who knows? He might have requested a trade already. Um, breaking news. But yeah, I
Yeah, Sam's
don't.
got sources.
Yeah, I got sources. We're calling him right now. But yeah, I don't know.
I feel like you
Crazy.
could go like a third and a. You might not even need to give up that much, honestly. Do you even have to give up a
You
more than
think
a third
so?
for Tyreek Hill? You might be able. I don't know what the NFL trades are, but I feel like he's could be one of those. Wait a second, somebody just got Tyreek Hill for like a sixth and a seventh,
Yeah.
and they got a seventh back. Like what just happened? Because when some of those veteran sort of high salary guys just want to go and the teams want them to go, like again, they're just being like, okay, well we're just gonna cut bait essentially, and
Yeah.
we can't waive because then the salary becomes dead cap. But if we
Exactly.
basically just do an equal pick swap and you now want to pay him, then that
Mm-hmm.
works. So I could see the Chiefs doing that at some point. I feel
Yeah.
like
No, I
they're
can
going to
see
be in
it.
the market for a move. You guys are going to make a move this year. I mean, you made a move last year, so you know
Yeah, I don't know why the heck we didn't pay Joe Thuney though. I'm so mad we did.
Yeah, I mean
We
Simmons
definitely
did
should have
have
kept
some
him.
good moments, though. I felt like that offensive line.
Well, he had like three holding calls.
He did, but it was his first game. I mean, like when he was blocking,
Bad.
he
It was
did show
bad.
this. I
Our
mean, again, he's a 31st
online,
pick as well too, so he's probably playing a little
yeah,
bit
it's
more than you need
definitely
him to.
like we don't. You don't want to always blame the O line, but they definitely lost us that game. Like the number of holds and stuff we had, it was bad. It was real bad.
More so than
Um,
Mahomes missing guys down the field.
yeah, it was bad. He was missing people bad. It was
Bring
crazy.
Tooney back.
That's crazy. Looking at the Fever winning Caitlin Clark, who's done for the year.
The Fever are up right now, you said?
They just won their game.
Ooh.
I
Shout out.
didn't know. I thought WNBA finished earlier than this. Feels late for them.
It's got to be. This has got to be right up there with the end of the regular season because they're at 44 games right now. So I don't know what
Yeah,
they play. It's in the 40s though, right? They
yeah,
won by
yeah.
11 against the
Thursday's
Link.
their last game. Wow, they're third in the Eastern Conference. The Fever. Wow. So who all goes to the playoffs? Do you know?
It's the top 8, I think.
Oh, top eight. Oh, wow. So they're gonna sneak in as well as the Valkyries. Shout out the Bay. We're gonna
Yeah,
have
there you
playoff
go.
games here. Maybe we gotta slide through. Who knows?
Yeah, you got to go to a Valkyrie game.
Yeah, playoffs. Playoffs.
Playoffs. I feel like that'd be fun. An expansion team making their playoffs in the first game, or first season. I
I
feel like it's actually
know.
kind of impressive.
Yeah, that is crazy. That is crazy. Yeah, the Storm are just barely hanging on
Oh,
at
no
500,
Collier tonight for the
22 and
Lynx.
12. Yeah, but they're number one. They're fine.
Yeah, maybe she's
They,
resting.
yeah, they're fine.
Boston with 12, Sims with 15,
Boston.
Mitchell with 18. But yeah, unfortunately, they haven't had Caitlin Clark out this season. I mean, how much have you been? I mean, I know people don't want to admit that maybe, again, is it like the league is definitely getting better as well too, but not having star
Yeah,
players there. I mean, you got to
it
admit
is
it has
tough.
felt a little bit that there has been a little bit of a vacancy there in some of the
Yeah.
stuff for the league this year.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, just like the NBA, there's still been, the injuries always affect the product. Not having players out there, um, and it will hurt a bit. But as the WNBA likes to say, the players, it's not all Caitlin Clark. So we'll see. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see the numbers. It is too bad that we don't get a Clayton Clark playoff moment.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was that. I mean, obviously that would have definitely brought. I mean, it definitely have put WNBA on the front page in the middle of a NBA or during the NFL season, which is tough as it is. But her being out really hurts them. Yeah, I don't know. It definitely slows the growth, but I don't know. Paige Buchers, who knows?
Paige
She's
looks really
on
good.
what team is she on?
The Wings?
The Wings, I think. Oh no, unfortunately, I don't think they're making it, but
No. But she's
she
had some
might
really
get
impressive
a
scoring games.
Rookie of the Year. Yeah,
Her and Agumbuwale, hopefully they're pretty crazy there over
yeah.
the last couple years. But and I mean, again, she's definitely risen as well too. But with the way that it seems like the narrative stuff has been driven over this year,
Mm,
do you think they should hold out for their like CBA type stuff? Because I was thinking about that when I was like, how do you actually like win in this negotiation at the end of the day? I feel like
yeah,
the NBA and the NFL, like the most extreme versions of negotiations do go down to lockouts. So
yeah.
I don't know. Is that
It
like
will
I?
be interesting to see because they have. I mean, it would have been a lot easy. Obviously, would have been a lot stronger case if Caitlin Clark had played and they could point to those numbers. But yeah, I mean, I do think everyone should get their money. So I don't know. It's tough. Maybe after next season, like when are they doing CBA negotiations for
I don't know if it's the end of this year or next year. I don't remember, but it's
him?
soon. It's fast approaching. I mean, that's why the negotiations themselves are starting to ramp up. But and again, you never want to lose
Mm,
the sport. But like you're saying, you want them to make money. So if you're actually trying to win this negotiation, I feel like
yeah,
it doesn't seem like the people are just again willing to budge from their spots
exactly.
on what all the cuts and the stuff is at this point. So I don't really know what your options are. But if
Yeah.
playoffs right around the corner, like you say, young talent in the league, still a lot of stars that are playing really well. So you're gonna have to go to a game and give us a full report, live breakdown of, or reactions of the
Oh, about
WNBA
pregame, yeah.
in venue environment. Because I mean, everybody that's gone, they say it's great, almost party like atmosphere. I forget who I was listening to.
Yeah.
Maybe Ocho Cinco on Nightcap was saying it's like the closest thing to a nightclub he's ever been to is a
Really?
WNBA
At
game.
a
Just like
Valkyrie game?
crazy
Oh,
party
WNBA
environment.
game.
I don't know if that's accurate,
Oh,
but
that's interesting. Well, we'll have to compare being having gone to an NBA game.
maybe it's just the
You
section that
know,
Ocho Cinco was in. I don't know.
I know. I'm like, that's a weird thing to say
Maybe I'm not
at
I
a
don't know if
WNBA
I
game.
might not be quoting him
A
right. IT might have to
nightclub.
double check me on that.
That's crazy.
I don't know.
That is
But yeah,
crazy.
that is going to
But
be a fun playoff to watch as well too. And and with the other sports emerging, like as unfortunate it is, the
yeah.
television sort of availability of some of the stuff is just blocks that are happening. But the shout out to Tubi as well with all the great movies. They got
Hmm.
Ion, they got the WNBA.
Toby.
Tubi's just a win all the way around. So, I mean,
Yeah.
have you gotten into any new shows yet at all?
No, nothing too new. I've been what I've been watching.
I guess.
There's a couple documentaries. Have you seen
Oh,
recently? There's a documentary
did you
that
watch
came
that Cowboys
out.
one?
No, I didn't. No, I
Oh,
couldn't do
I
that.
didn't watch it either.
But I did watch like there was one that was like six schizophrenic brothers. But there was one that recently came out. I didn't watch it, but saw a lot of reactions of the mom who was like bullying her daughter on social media, and then it took them forever to figure out it was her, and
Yeah.
then like they tracked it down to her, it being her, and she's like, and they're both all the whole family's part of the interview, like including the mom. And of course, trying to justify being like, oh, everyone's broken the law before, like blah 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 blah. And it's like, all right, like
She's
just
cyberbullying
kind
her
of
own
not.
daughter as like a
Yeah,
fake account. She's like
yeah.
Kevin
And they're
Durant for
like
her
trying to
daughter.
track it down, and they're like, hey, like the call is literally coming
From
from
inside
inside
the
the
house,
house.
yeah, and that's crazy because you're like, why
Like,
are these attacks so personal? They know so much
I
about
don't
me.
know. It's insane. It's insane. And it's weird because she's like comforting her daughter and then, like
Wait, did she
texting
say
the
why?
stuff. No, I don't think so.
She's just crazy. She's just psycho behavior.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
Wow, the dual personality.
Dual
That is like a.
duality
I was
of
gonna say that is
man
like a
or
horror.
woman.
Somebody should make that into a movie, but you just said you watched a documentary on it, so that's pretty
Yeah.
close. But that is like a Stephen King novel. That's like if Stephen King was writing a book in 2025 about the internet.
I
It's
don't
like
know.
your
Have you
mom is
seen the
cyberbullying
trailer
you.
for the Stephen King movie?
Are you talking about the long
The
walk?
March? Yeah, are you gonna watch it?
I probably won't, but I might. It does look pretty
Okay.
good. I've heard it's got a lot of buzz right now.
Yeah.
Maybe even some award buzz. I don't know if that's acting, story wise, what's going on, but people are reviewing it
Yeah.
highly. I mean, Stephen King is just an endless ideas machine. I don't know how they just make 3 new Stephen
I
King
don't
movies
know.
every year.
Well, as the books,
Yeah.
Did what wasn't there was some horror movie that was coming out too that everyone was talking about.
People were talking about Weapons recently. Weapons was big in the
Weapons,
news.
yeah.
I haven't seen
I
that yet.
know.
I haven't really been to the,
Him, a
the
lot of stuff coming out for him.
I'm definitely going to go see that.
Yeah.
I will go see that. The 2 movies I have left to go see this year are him and the new Predator movie, Predator Badlands.
Oh, really? You're gonna watch? Did you watch Fantastic Four? I feel like a horrible Marvel fan for not watching it.
No, I didn't watch it.
I might have to
I got to be honest,
look
I
it
don't
up.
know anybody that watched it.
Wow. Yeah, it did pretty average is what I'm hearing. Like it wasn't bad. Like people aren't outraged, but it wasn't great.
It seems like a tough 2025 for Pedro Pascal, honestly, because The
Yeah.
Materialist was a little underwhelming. I mean, Fantastic Four again was as a movie itself a little bit underwhelming, but also that's like the
And then The
rejuvenation
Last of
attempt for
Us
the
too.
MCU. Was that not great?
I don't know. People were saying the last season it wasn't as
Oh
good as the first.
no. Pedro Pascal 0 for
So
3 is crazy because he was going
I
into
don't
the season
know.
as the year as the odds-on favorite for like biggest movie star in America.
Yeah,
And
he's getting distracted by the actors
yeah, I think
he's
he's
working
just getting a little too handsy. I don't know what's going on there,
with.
but
Yeah.
what even gets you in the theater these days? Because I feel like if we weren't, I mean, back in the day we would have been right there for Fantastic Four. I don't know if
Yeah,
that's our Marvel
we would have.
commitment or is that just new movie habits. But what even gets you in
Hearing
the theater?
reviews. Tron Ares. I'm
Oh,
definitely going
you
for
are.
that.
I haven't seen the trailers. Like I know
I'm a big
you're a
Tron
Tron
fan.
guy.
At least Tron Legacy. I haven't watched the first
Are you a
one.
big Jared
I
Leto fan?
tried the graphics were horrible, but you said who?
Are you a big Jared Leto fan? Because isn't he the star of this one?
Yeah, I don't know. I've heard might be PDF, I don't know, PDF file,
Jared Leto
I don't
always known to
know.
pick great scripts.
Yeah, uh,
But the
but
trailers for
it
that do look
is,
exciting.
it looks really good. It looks really good. And it's always been like what I low-key thought about, like what if they did come into the real world? Like, how would that look like?
Yeah,
You
wait,
know?
what's the premise?
Well, essentially, like they made the perfect soldier, and it's some like AI. It's like loosely based off of the second one, but it's like it still has like the famous, what is it, like that stream behind it that like cuts through stuff, the stream that comes out of the pipes and stuff, and so it was always like I mean, obviously it's just wrecking havoc, and it's supposed to be like the super soldier that's supposed to be like do whatever orders you tell it to, but for some reason the AI is like looking for something in the real world. So, and then of course Flynn, I think the dad Flynn is like, like a god at this point of of the whole thing. Like I don't know. So I can't wait to see it. I'm really excited. It's probably going to be pretty average, but I mean the main movie is too. The one I like is just the music and the graphics and everything
So it is
is
still
top tier.
the franchise names that get
Yeah.
you into it.
Yeah, that name does because it's been so long since the last one. I
Hmm.
mean, the last one I watched when I was growing up. So I was like, I'll give Disney another chance here. And Fantastic Four, I know, is going to be on streaming platforms at some point. So, yeah.
But like, you didn't go see F1 in the theater, did you?
No, I really wanted to, though. I really wanted to.
Yeah,
I just
same.
got
That seemed
busy.
like a movie that everybody wanted to go see, but
Yeah.
like half the people ended up seeing. People were still going out at early in the year for the sort of some of the legacy Marvel stuff with, Captain
Yeah.
America still did a really good number at the end of the day, even though it's obviously an expensive movie. And the Thunderbolts,
Yeah.
comparatively in the
Superman,
box
though.
office, did
Oh,
pretty
no,
good too.
Superman did.
Yeah, Superman did really good in the box office, for
Yeah.
sure. I don't know if it was, again, like a phenomenon, all time type hit, but I think it was a really, really productive, really great movie. So, is it the brands like Marvel and some of those places have just worn out their sort of reputation, and it's just the
I guess
reputation of
essentially,
what the
yeah.
brands are? Or is it the people, or just you were, just growing up attached to some of these things? Because I still am kind of even curious about what, I don't really even know what gets me in the theater at this point right now.
Yeah.
Like, it is a little bit of, having the extra pick and choose as well too, of maybe not just the whole menu of movies in front of me, that I can just go to all the movies as well too.
Yeah.
So I had to be a little bit more careful. But again, like a Marvel movie, I would have just been there blindly. I would have just been at some of the more random action movies, or just kind of giving some movies a chance. But now it's like, you have to check like multiple boxes of having the person and being part of the
Exactly.
IP, and actually maybe having some hype going into it as well too. Like, my list going into the year was Sinners, highest to lowest, which was that new Denzel Spike Lee movie, which ended up not really dropping in theaters that much.
Oh, jeez.
And then when him got dropped, when him got started to hype up, and then the Predator movie as well too. But again, like Predator is like a
Yeah.
legacy franchise movie, and then we're just kind of bought in on like Peel stuff. But that movie looks fun as well too, so it's kind of a unique premise. But
Mm.
yeah, I don't really know what is even drawing people out anymore, because again, we've always been
Yeah.
kind of in a weird thing with the stars now. But now that we don't really have like a star IP thing, it is a little
Yeah.
bit more vague, because Marvel never got respect for still being that type of thing. And it was like, okay, this
Exactly.
is new Hollywood. Like, we don't necessarily like this. But it's like, okay, this is the stars that we do have right now. And now that effect is gone. And it's like, now we really know what Hollywood looks like without like the leading man or even the leading
Exactly.
franchise stuff.
And I think more and more movies, filmmakers are making films for other filmmakers. Like, I don't think there's as many enjoyable or like commonplace movies as much, just because I think like now people are becoming self-aware. You get so much, you know, access to fans and people, and the super fans and all that, and everyone talking and stuff, and people are affected by that. And I think the studios are affected by that too, and their group testing and all that. That I think it has stifled creativity because it's just so expensive to make good stuff, and I think that's why we've seen more a lean, at least personally for me, into TV shows, just because it is technically more production and stuff, but you can see people more willing to take a chance on stuff, more willing to pull the plug on stuff. I think the to make a movie, it's gotten so expensive and tough, and I think a lot of things like that in general are like that. Kind of institutions in general. I was looking at a video on my stream yesterday on TikTok that was showing like downtown Las Vegas is just completely empty. Like, and
Mm.
I think like a lot of people are like, don't come to LA to, you know, don't come to LA to be an actor or stuff. And I think it's just kind of, with the internet and stuff, like kind of the democracy of things, like everyone can now make a movie, everyone can, do their own TV show and stuff. And so why, if creativity is being stifled by the top execs, by these top people, unless you have some big IP, then why would I try to go up there? Then when I can start my own studio, you can start your own indie films. I think like indie films are supported more than ever now.
Mm.
Equipment is easier to get your hands on more than ever. So I think it's just it's very much, I think the storytellers can now tell their own stories without needing that medium, and it is making a brain drain for Hollywood and for Georgia and all the big movie people. And I think that's why we're starting to see kind of people less go to the movies because you can either get it for free online or you can watch the movie. You can find it somewhere online. Now thanks to illegal streaming, and it's just like I don't understand wanting to pay like $30+, and that can start also leaning into the economic state of our country right now. But
Hmm.
I think it's just the movies aren't hitting the same because they aren't as good. And now you see like what was it? Warner Brothers made a trailer with AI. Like it's just
What movie was
it
that?
it's heading in the wrong direction. It was a trailer for a movie. It was like a kids. It was like they were pretending
What does that
drawing or
mean they made it
whatever.
with AI? Like it's AI
Like they had
graphics,
AI generate the graphics. Yeah,
but they made the movie
and
in real
it's
life?
I think so. I'm not 100% sure.
Hmm.
But you see, like, if you go back to like movies in 2008, 2009, like they look better. And it's because they actually paid animators. And you can see animators talking about like now they don't, they barely pay people, they overwork people. People don't really have time to work on these movies. And so you can see the quality go. You can see the heart and passion not be as featured on these movies, and it's because they're trying to get a quick buck. And Marvel is self-aware now, but they just keep doing their um big cuts and changing everything, and it's insane. So I just think it's been pretty clear the last couple of years that you know these big institutions and stuff, trying to make everyone happy and all the groups and stuff, it isn't what's going to make good content. What making good content is like speaking to specific people, having your story and sticking with it. And you can't do that anymore with any of these big studios. And you might have to do it on your own.
So do you think just in general then that movies are a good idea, or just like a thing that maybe is going to be a mainstay in culture going forward? Because it does seem, I just of course when movies started it was like the movie is the story, and
Yeah.
we go back in Hollywood, it's like look at all of these one-off original stories, but it was the ability to tell a story, and like, and we still had 3.5 hour movies back then as well too, but it was the ability to
Yeah.
just tell a story in like an hour and a half to 2.5 hours if we're going for the real epic stuff. And now even a quote unquote single movie is rarely a single movie. Of course, it's always, is it attached to IP or something like that? But
Exactly.
it's never really a single condensed story. It's something that is kind of spinning off of something. But do you think people want that? Do you think people want the 90-minute to 2.5 hour story, or do they? The reason that this franchise stuff is actually work is because it is a more like mega event TV show type thing, and it's these long drawn out TV shows, and it's more sporadically paced out because you have to make a movie every couple of years. But with the way TV shows are taking over, and with the way that
Yeah.
again, that they're allowing these people to kind of tell the stories through the course of a little bit more time, do you think that that's actually what people do? People want to consume a story in a movie amount of time now?
I think everyone since the dawn of time has loved a good story. And I think the problem is that there has been too much of a push to make everything a big movie event and sell merch and have all this stuff, when more focus should be put on how good is the actual movie. And I think a great example of that is like Sinners.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, there were some ads and stuff, but it wasn't like they're out here like selling t-shirts. Like it was a whole ad campaign, like kind of like some of the other
Toys,
movies we've seen, exactly like toys and stuff like Disney loves to do.
the smoke and
Like
stack
the
action figures, which they should definitely do.
exactly. They were focused on the movie first and making the thing count. And I think there's been too much of like a distraction, too much of kind of changing perspective of, we need to this to make money instead of it to be actually good. And that's the thing, like any performers or anyone that you see out here, like when they're talking about, oh, I used to worry about sponsorship and stuff, but as long as I made sure what I was doing, my performance was good, like everything else followed. And it's the same with movies. As long as the movie is good, like people will pay it. People will come to see, you know, and I think that's what's shown with Sinners. Like people, it's not like people just suddenly forgot that movie theaters exist. It's just you got to give them a reason to go. And so when you don't pay for animators, you don't pay for graphics people, when you don't pay for good editors and like people taking really time to do it, it's noticed. You can notice the drop in quality, and I think that's one of my favorite things watching like behind the scenes with Severance and stuff is listening to people's intentional decisions with the editing. Like you can hear like even the keys that they play in the background when they like make the switch, like that was thought up of. Or, you can see the choreography with the dancing and the band and the, thought outness
Mm-hmm.
of the story and, kind of the scenes and how, people had they had their own like kind of imprints on stuff. Or that's why I love Ozark is like the little touches that are within the movie of like people in their conversations, how they like physically, talk through their body language as well as like their actual words and the changing and in the editing of the video and stuff. So I mean, I think you can have some IP that can borrow the cool, as they say, like borrow, being cool, and people are like, oh, that's that. But at some point, it runs out, and Disney is running out of options. When you look at ESPN, when you look at Star Wars, when you look at Marvel, they're recognizing they're running out of options, and so I think that's why you've kind of seen them kind of push more towards TV shows. Kind of lower risk, give it a bigger budget, or give a budget to a smaller creator and let them actually really take a hold of that. And who knows the next time we have a Star Wars movie? I know Marvel, they have to keep cranking them out, but
Mm-hmm.
I definitely like that shift for Star Wars to kind of, let's take a deep breath, let's revise, like let's bring in some new fresh minds and try to make really quality stories. And I think that's why you see like Andor really be huge, and you see, Mandalorian and all these other shows that, people could say, oh, it should have been a movie, but like, would it? I don't know if it would have been as good though.
But it seems like as well the just the people watching at home, there's more hype for a streaming TV show than there ever is for a streaming movie. Like,
Yeah,
yes, during COVID, obviously that's how we were watching movies, and now as well too. Like, you're not gonna necessarily have hype movies are still gonna be dropped in theater, like Apple a little bit, Netflix a little bit, or of course, we'll release the streaming only type stuff. But that stuff never captures the conversation the same way a TV show doesn't. A TV show has the ability to, of course, dominate for weeks on weeks, but a movie back in the day used to dominate for weeks on week as well too. And maybe that's just the whole, we have so much more stuff now.
yeah.
But like, do we have that much more stuff in the major zeitgeist that we're talking about? Like, we still have the things that kind of break through and transcend. And right now, it's just if you're watching at home, it seems like people want to gravitate toward TV shows. Like, that's the part that I haven't necessarily that I haven't necessarily connected in my mind yet, and is making me curious to see where the theater thing goes, because that to me is like, yes, I understand, because I also too have to, like I'm saying, be careful about
Yeah.
where I'm going to the theater, so I understand why theaters are struggling a little bit compared to just in the past. But I do wonder if it is a little bit of just the form of movie is being surpassed in a major way by TV shows as well too. And we've been trending again that way for the 8 episode type stuff in a while, but you just never hear, like, just even in obviously in sort of media conversations, but even just in personal conversations, like nobody's ever like talking about the hyped up new Netflix movie that just dropped. Like, maybe there
Yeah.
is a couple rom-com type stuff that has in the past, and I feel like Netflix in general, like these studios, again, they, because we're back in theaters, it is that too, but they don't do that anymore. Like you're saying, they just focus on TV. It's like,
Yeah.
well, let's just make it a TV show. So I do
Well,
wonder
and
just
and
what's
it's one of
happening
those
with
things where
movies.
it's easier to hide a TV show if it's bad. It's easier to not hype it up as well. But if it's a movie, it's harder to hide that if it is bad. And then there's also the like bad, what is it, like assumed meaning? I don't know how to say it, but assumed
Mm.
meaning of it going straight to DVD,
Mm.
and just like, or it going straight to streaming of like, oh, so it wasn't good enough to be in the theaters. And
Mm.
so I think the top people have shown like if it is a movie that they really believe in, they'll take it to the theater. So I think that's why, yeah, I mean, I think it's played out that pretty much almost all like streaming movies aren't super great. I mean, there's some good ones, but definitely not as good as the TV shows on there. And I think with TV shows, with these places, with a lot of these production companies owning their own streaming platforms, with Disney Plus and Netflix, Amazon's making movies, like I guess Warner Brothers. I don't know which one they own. I guess Paramount Plus. So with all these places really owning the platforms, instead of getting people for a one-time purchase of a movie, you get them with consistent money throughout the year, of a streaming platform that they sign up and may forget about. And so I think they're more incentivized to make their platform really good, to have you stay on their platforms because, passive income, bro. Like they rather have the
Mm-hmm.
money, and they get more percentage of the sales because the other one, through the theater, they have to pay the theater. You got to get the movie there, and then how often are people going to really go to the theater, and there's all that. So I think us going to streaming and watching the TV shows on streaming, so we're stuck there longer. And yeah, just being on the platforms is what these companies want because it's how they make more money.
And I think we are a little bit of like we got lucky as a generation because of the Marvel thing. Like that did have us in theaters,
Yeah,
as you're just gonna go see those movies. But with the COVID thing kind of being there for a couple years, and that kind of lets some kids enter the pop culture zeitgeist and start developing their just pop culture consumption habits and stuff like that. Like I just don't know if going to the movie theater is a thing that is just that people are excited about as well, compared to I think we might be the last ones that are just like, oh, the movie theater is a fun thing to go to. It's just like a
yeah,
random place to hang, and maybe just the idea of like brick and mortar places to hang out is
exactly.
also starting to diminish as well. But just the actual idea of you've got to be able to tell a story in a certain amount of time, because that's I think why Sinners is so impressive as well too, is there is no like, I mean, I guess you could force another second movie if you wanted to. I guess there is that whole
Bro, yeah.
with the vampires being alive still. You could definitely do something about that. But the story is told in a very complete way. And you're right, it's still definitely hit as well, but
Mm,
I don't know if again anything else that is just sort of like the non-major event A plus like
yeah.
generational movies have necessarily even had like a fun sort of run in the stuff as well. I guess maybe like Final Destination. There have been a couple, so it's not like we're totally dead. Like people will still get hyped up for
Did
the
you
right
like
type of
Final
thing.
Destination?
I've only seen a couple of scenes on YouTube. I haven't like watched the full movie,
Yeah.
but it did crazy in the box office, and people really love that one. So I might
Wow.
check it
The
out.
ads for it, the trailer for it was crazy.
Yeah, I mean it's an
Look at the
insane
trailer.
it's an insane
Yeah.
premise, but the kills in that are almost so crazy and they're so
It
absurd
is.
that
But
it's
that
like,
is a really creative movie.
yeah, it's creative too, but it's also like it's a little unrelatable as well.
Yeah.
Like I just
So
feel
you can
like
like disassociate. Yeah.
the odds that like I might like step on a random glass
Exactly.
bottle and fall down in a lawnmower just happens to be like running over me at the same time the kid's bounces on. It's just I don't know. Like maybe strange things do happen. I'm probably jinxing it, but it feels like a lot of the or like I guess I don't want to start spoiling everything in the YouTube stuff that I've seen for the people that haven't watched the movie and that will see the movie as well too. But have you seen like the opening scene for the new one at all?
Oh no.
Oh
Oh, with the them in the backyard?
no, the backyard is one, but they're up in like the Space Needle, like the top of the Space
Oh,
Needle,
no, I haven't seen it.
dancing around. Yeah, it is pretty crazy. I saw it. I got the YouTube recommend like a couple of days, I guess, after it dropped, and it's like, well, I guess I'll check it out. And yeah, it's a creative. It's fun. It's a little out there
Yeah.
enough to
Space Needle,
have a good
man. Maybe
time.
I gotta look it
But
up.
are you a big horror guy at all? I don't know if we talked about this before.
Not too much. I like there's a horror game series that
Hmm.
is pretty good. It's what the choose your own adventure kind of game. Horror game only on PlayStation.
So do you have like are you like a no go
Um,
with the horror, or are you just?
I really like Until Dawn. I don't know if you've ever
I've
played
heard
that.
of it. Yeah.
Usually I'll do for video game. There's Until Dawn. There's one I'm playing. There's a series that it's not called Resident Evil. Where is it at?
Resident Evil?
No.
Oh, I just know the names. sometimes.
Um,
But are those like actually like do they have jump scares in the games and stuff? I guess some games have jump scares, right?
yeah, they do. They do have some jump scares. Yeah, the one I'm thinking of, um, the one I'm thinking of, it does have a couple jump scares. But yeah, that's the only thing I'll do horror is like choose your own adventure because I'm like, okay, at least I can kind of control it. Like I'm not on the whim of someone else. But there's a series called The Dark Pictures, and I've played every single one besides the new one that I just started playing because it's finally on PlayStation Plus. But yeah, The Dark
Mm.
Pictures anthology, and it's really good. It's really good. I did like. I will say, yeah, the best one is probably the first one. But this last one seems really good though. But yeah, the Man of Medan is definitely what made it blow up, and it's really good. Little Hope is a little bit weird. It's not. I don't know. It felt kind of flatline, and then House of Ashes was crazy, like in the Middle East and caves and stuff. But I felt like I knew already where that was going. But The Devil in Me so far, I have no idea where it's going. It's like pretty much a serial killer, you know, who idolized H.H. Holmes, like the first American serial killer, like invites people and
Ooh.
pretty much locks them in this
Yeah, he like a
hotel, look
maze
like
apartment
island.
situation,
So
right?
yeah. So I'm just now getting to the point where they're starting to interact with homie. So yeah,
Agent
it's
Tommy.
crazy. Yeah, pretty much.
Hmm. So, you go like back in time with like old classic stuff at all?
No, I mean, I will say my favorite game that I've played in the last like whatever is called Control. It's probably I put it as my favorite game.
Ooh, number one.
Made by Remedy Entertainment. If you, I mean, I'd highly recommend Control. It's a really good game. It's a long like shooter, action third person. You know, it's like pretty much it's a really deep supernatural game. It's not like super like jump scary, but it's like it's a crazy game. It's a wild game, but I don't know. I mean, have you been gaming much? I know you were at 2K like a while ago, but I don't know.
No, I
Yeah.
haven't gamed in forever. I'm not
That's
having
probably
the
smart.
systems
You
out and
grew
going
up.
yet.
That's fine.
College football was about as close as we could get to dipping back in, but since it didn't actually happen, I feel like the moment has passed.
Oh,
Unfortunately.
so you're on your own now, huh?
What? Oh no, I'm just saying I'm not playing
A
games.
trail. Oh yeah.
No more video games. But what do you?
No, that's
Maybe
fine.
sometime.
That's
I
cool.
mean, I feel like honestly too. I want not to put Xbox on blast, but Xbox maybe get a Spider-Man game. I feel like I wanted if I was to get
Yeah,
back
you
into
gotta get the
games, it would be
PlayStation,
PlayStation.
PS5, man. Yeah, you gotta get a PS5, bro.
Because I'm too far behind. Like I don't even remember what my newest
Yeah.
Xbox is, but I'm too far behind at this point. Like I,
Yeah, you gotta just get a PlayStation.
I would have
They're
to get a
better
new game
anyway.
system, and yeah, I guess it depends on if like an Xbox would be backwards or like can be compatible for all the old games. I don't even know if I could play like my
Yeah.
old 360 games on a new Xbox. But to be
Yeah,
honest, I
you probably can.
yeah, because I'd be interested
Yeah,
in
but
that almost
PlayStation
as much
has
as
better games.
I'd be
I
interested in
mean,
that almost as much as playing the new games.
you got like $500, you know. The new 2K 26. I've heard it's like the best 2K in a long time, but I haven't
Oh,
had
really?
time to play it. Yeah,
Should they re-release 2K from previous years, from like way
maybe,
back?
bro. I was playing, or was I playing, or I was seeing people play 2016 2K16, man. And I tell you what, I miss those days.
Yeah, imagine
That's
like
definitely,
the best season ever in the NBA. Like imagine if they redid
yeah,
the 2016 2K in modern tech with the 2016 game. Or I was thinking more like, do we need like a, I guess 2026? So do we need like a 1986 2K?
maybe.
Like young MJ in the league, Bird and
Oh,
Magic.
like putting them in the game. You could definitely find a mod to do that. There
No, I
was
mean like the 2K game is 19 like it's NBA 2K 1986. Like the whole
mm,
league is 1986 again, and you're playing
maybe.
it
I
with
don't know.
you're just playing it like it's 2025
Well,
with
are the
graphics and
graphics
stuff.
that old
Yeah.
or
No, like the graphics are new.
oh
Like the game is new, but all the
you could
players are
definitely find
86.
mods like that. They definitely could do that.
But 2K's not
You might
making
have to
money on
play
that.
them. Yeah, they're not. I know in 23 they did like the Jordan story, like where you replayed some of Jordan's moments or something.
Oh, okay.
Um, and of course they always have all-time teams, but Yeah, I know that's not what you're talking about. But I
Because
know there's
that
definitely
like
mods and
eight
stuff you could do.
like that 80s run there where you could still have really good overalls on Magic and
Yeah.
Bird, and then you still have like you would have a great intersection of talent in the league at
Pistons,
that point,
yeah.
of guys
Yeah.
that are still known
Lakers.
today though too, like or market like Magic and Bird and MJ are all still marketable today. Like you could
Well,
sell
I
them on
know
a
they
game.
do historic teams, like teams from the past that were really good. So I'm sure they have a couple of those
But
teams.
don't
Like
you want to
obviously
play
it's
with
the
the
best
whole league
version of
though?
them. Yeah. I don't know. Do you? Like there's something like do we really need the Wizards from back then? You know, the Bobcat
Yeah, let's
cats
do
from
it.
out
I
there.
mean,
Oh
there's gonna be
man, run it
6
back.
terrible teams that you don't want to play with in any version of 2K
Exactly.
now.
Like they're
So
gonna be like, oh, I'm simming through this. Like
it's gonna be great. You're gonna get Samson and Elijah together. Like you're gonna
that's crazy.
get, George Gervin. I guess Gervin might have been on the Bulls at that point, '86, honestly. So I guess
Yeah.
maybe right before, sort of young David Robinson. And the Spurs might be out of this one, honestly. But you would, like you said, have the
That's,
Pistons as well too. Like the Jazz would
yeah.
just start having to get their young players. The Cavs would be really fun that year
Yeah.
with a couple of young picks. I
No,
think
I
it'd
know
be
it's definitely
interesting.
possible. It's definitely possible. You
I
just
think it would
gotta
do well, honestly.
add some stuff.
The 80 what's the so this upcoming season would be the 25-26. So if they released it 85-86, you've got
Mm,
Boston winning the title, Larry
yeah.
Bird MVP, Patrick Ewing rookie of
Yeah.
the year, Dominic Wilkins points per game leader at 30 a game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, those are all fun. I mean, playing with a old Hawks team, I guess again like you're saying, they do have the classics team, but I want like the haze of the
Man, you
stadiums
want
and
surreal.
yeah, I want to be
I
making
think
moves and trades in
our mods
86.
you can do that. I think you can do that, like the haze of the recording or whatever.
Yeah, cuz I saw a
I've seen
video of
that.
it.
I've seen that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're like, this is the most realistic I've seen in the game ever. Like,
Purvis Short was
they
5th in
do.
the league in scoring. Kiki Moses Malone.
Man, Kiki
Imagine
man,
playing with
people
the
forget.
85 Lakers versus the 85 Philly with Moses and Kareem battling each other.
That's crazy.
It would be fun. Would you play like 2K or would you play like Madden 95 with like the old Cowboys?
Hmm.
What year was Christian Okoye in the league?
Nah. I definitely want to play like Jamal Charles again though.
Yeah, so you just want to remake
See-
video games from like 10 years ago.
Yeah, see if I can win one with Alex Smith.
I feel like does Madden do the legend teams the same way 2K does?
I don't think so.
I feel like a legendary. I guess you do have like you build like the my
The
team.
Bears, 85 Bears. I love that. I mean,
That'd be-
people always
yeah.
say that's the best defense ever. I want to see it.
I feel like the NFL was a little less. I mean, it was definitely fun, but maybe a little less talented than the NBA in the '80s.
Yeah.
But the Niners and stuff, I guess maybe not. But I don't know. That '85 Bears seems a weird one. I mean, that defense was so dominant. But even their like, the team they were playing, obviously in the Patriots, I don't think is like an all-time team that we talk about. Like, oh, that
Yeah.
Patriots team that lost the Super Bowl. Like, there's really not a lot of other things from the '85 season that you hear about outside of, like, in the Super Bowl team. So that makes sense in some ways. But just having another sort of standout, legendary, major thing, maybe there's another highlighter too. I mean, because again, from these seasons right now, you would be like, oh, it's Mahomes and Allen and Lamar and Josh Allen and all these guys that stand out as well too. Would you play like Madden 1955? Could get a little interesting. Johnny Unitas.
Now we're going too far back. Whoa.
Yeah, that one might honestly be a little problematic. You got coaches saying wild things on the sidelines. You're like, hey, let's not go there. Patriots in that playoff run beat the Jets, the Raiders, and the Dolphins. Also, Moreno, you would have had, I guess, young Moreno in the league at that point. Dickerson on the Rams.
That's true.
Would have been pretty fun, young Elway. But maybe that's not the best year for the league. I don't know. I feel like we need to do a better job with legendary teams, though, in Madden. If they don't have a Legends team thing, that should be an automatic. Like some old
Just knock 'em
Vikings
out.
team.
Knock 'em out. Nah, before I go though, we gotta have a quick Hinge update. What's going on with you, man? You going out? Come on now.
We try to stay productive during the day, social at night. You know how it goes. Just
Oh,
here
so
moving
you
around.
outside? Okay, that's good. That's good.
Just
We're
trying to keep the
checking in,
schedule
just
busy,
checking
you know.
in on you, man. Checking in on you. Nah, you can't be too busy now. You gotta.
No,
You know.
I mean, you can track us. You can track a lot of our moves. We're here on the YouTube, so we're not. we all know what our first love is at the end of the day.
Man, you know, and we love the pod. We love the pod, but man, we gotta do other stuff too, man. Gotta we gotta get you outside.
I know. I need to start playing pickup basketball again.
There you go. Shoot some hoops. I need to get in the gym again. We're gonna be, man. I can't tell you. I know I already talked about it, but we've been both like, man, we got to get our body right for if we're gonna be outside in Cancun.
For Cancun, you gotta start. Honestly,
gotta,
just start with a little push-up, pull-up situation.
Yeah. Okay.
Just get down and just do as many push-ups as you can. Because I've thought about doing that. I've been having some car trouble, so it's like getting back and forth to the gym sometimes is not always the most convenient. So I have thought about just being like, just for the sake of trying like a full-on, just only push-up, pull-out, like just a prison-style workout.
Yeah.
Push-ups, pull-ups only. See what happens. Because I think you could really, I have a hot take. I think you get a really good workout if you just do some push-ups.
Yeah.
But I think that's a good way to start
sense,
as well too. And then I feel like once you start doing that, you always just end up wanting to go to the gym as well. You're like, well, if I'm doing push-ups, I might as well just get in the gym and just do a workout. And then I feel like you'll be in working out.
For me, it's the cold water like throwing on me, and I just feel different when I'm underneath the like doing push-up or doing like weights,
Yeah.
I know I will push myself more than if I do just simple push-ups. So it's like,
yeah.
But
it's always and it's fun to have I think to be able to just like crank out a bunch of push-ups as well too, or pull-ups.
Yeah.
I mean, push-ups are one that I feel like if you don't do push-ups normally, you can like the crossover strength is good, but pull-ups are one where you kind of have to be doing pull-ups to be good at pull-ups. I guess that's not true.
Yeah.
Like there's going to be crossover strength for everything. But that one really does help. And then you can get the extra skill of the muscle ups and stuff in it. I haven't necessarily worked into that, but I did see somebody post on their Snapchat story the other day of them doing muscle ups in their routine. And I was like, well, obviously, we can't have that. So I was like, next time I'm out there, I'm trying to go a little higher on the pull-up bar than maybe
Of course, you gotta show who's boss.
So that's next up. Muscle ups are next in the pull-up game. I feel like that might be a 2026 ordeal. I don't know if we're gonna get there in 2025.
All right.
But yeah, wait, are you like? Do you have like a gym associated with the? Like, are you guys in an apartment?
Yeah, where
or do you
I
have a
live.
house?
No, where I live. No, we are. It is a condo situation, so. There is a gym, there is a pool, so you just gotta start using it,
Ooh. So. Okay. Yeah, you gotta get down there. I mean, once the Chiefs are gonna have you mad by week 5, so I'm sure you're gonna need to.
I know. We have some aggression.
Work that off as well too, so that'll be a good place for it.
Yeah.
But good luck planning for your trip, man. I'm excited to hear you guys have a fun destination plan, fun trip.
We'll see.
Plan.
I mean, if I'm free, I might join again before we leave. But yeah, we'll see. Maybe we'll do a little, like we mentioned, a little live look while we're there. We'll see.
Chad, if this man calls into the pod live on his honeymoon, I mean, he's dedicated. You gotta just go enjoy yourself.
Who else is doing it?
Do we put in a no call? I think you're not allowed to call. You can
no calls.
Call when you get back. It's like, hey, enjoy Cancun. If you call in, that'd be legendary. That'd be so funny. We're looking forward to it.
One time
Chat.
for the one time.
Let's do it, chat. You gotta stay tuned. You never know. You're never
quite sure. But anyway, thanks for letting me come back on. I know you got some movie breakdowns to do, but
chat, you might have to be tuned. Stay tuned next time. Who knows?
We'll see you. But good seeing you.
Good seeing you. Well, I'd love to have you. Doors always open.
Of course.
Good catching up. All right, chat, we are back, and I ended the call with Sam by saying we have to wrap up. So do I have to? I might just have to text and pause. It is what it is. I don't know, chat. Yikes! It is, yikes! But of course, always good to have him called in. I mean, again, the man, planning a wedding. The man was grinding this year, getting ready for some big events. Honeymoon right around the corner. So good to have him calling in and back, and always love to catch up. But some things are more important than a 65 anniversary Psycho rewatch, chat. It is what it is. The only thing that means is you got to stay tuned for the next time. Shout out. We're going to have some fun stuff. Should we see what was on the calendar for the Friday show? Or was it some new music stuff as well, too? Maybe some stuff that gets pushed to the side? I don't know, chat. It doesn't matter. Make no mistake, because Friday we're going to be watching Psycho in the background, even if there is something else crazier that is going to be in the mix. I mean, there's going to be, I'm assuming we're going to get college football, something, but we've got the daily fantasy lineup to set, picks, and the NFL world is in full motion. Like we said, WNBA playoffs are around the corner, so we've got to lock in on that, chat. We've been bad fans this year. It is what it is. We got to hold ourselves accountable. We can say there's injuries. We can say it is what it is, but we got to hold ourselves accountable. We got to, watch the games. We got to step up, because I always find myself being interested, obviously, when I'm looking at the scores and stuff, and yeah, there are games in sport. College football, I feel like I don't watch half the games that we want to watch. It's like, okay, we saw 2 minutes of this game and then ran around and had to do errands and work, and then this person was like, go do this thing, and it's like all of a sudden now we watch 2 quarters of one game that we didn't even really want to watch. But we'll commit, chat, once the games obviously get more important, then you gotta lock in and pay attention. So we'll be there paying attention. But 2K, if you want to take an idea from, or Madden, if you want to take an idea from the pod, I'm telling you, I think it definitely would work with 2K. I don't know. Again, I feel like the running backs and stuff were good back in the day. So there is a differentness to the Madden that would be fun for sure. But I think maybe the way that the passing stuff is continuing to be pushed as well too in the gameplay, it would, that would just have to take a step back if we were making a 1985 version of Madden. It is what it is. The quarter, like with Moreno and Elway and some of the guys, Montana's in the league at this point. Like, again, there are good guys in the league, but the overall start to bottom talent is Dan Fouts would be a fun one to play in Madden. So I know this is a basic question we should know, chat, but does Madden have legendary teams in game? Do we just go question mark and see what it says? Is it have the 2K historical teams? Hey, chat. Hate it when Bing does the random search. Let's see here. Legends program? Is this just for the players that are like rated? Yeah, that's just player cards. Hey, chat. Rem learns about Madden as a fun way to end the live stream. It is what it is. Madden Ultimate Team features a wide range of historical players, obviously, is what it says. But it doesn't say that it has the historical team. So yeah, Madden. That just seems like it should be an easy feature as well too. Is there like a player union rights issue there that we don't know about? Like, why would Madden not have legendary teams in the game? Unlockable team ranges, all-star teams, NFL long shot teams, NFL Pro Bowl teams. Wait a second. What's this? Is this all from this game? Or is it just Madden teams in general? List of teams featured in Madden NFL series. So yeah, this is just from the series as well. So I guess there has been, in Madden, I guess has been around a little bit. So wait a second. Has there been a 1920 version of the Bears in Madden? Wait, have I misspoke? 1930s Detroit Lions? To when? Hey, is this going to give us a list of the Lions teams that are in Madden? I don't know why this is the team that we picked. But the Detroit Lions are a playable NFL team in Madden. Okay, chat, that's good to know. And that's all it says on Wiki Fandom. So that's basically no help. So the only way to find out, we're going to have to buy Madden 2026 and just see if we can play it. The Beeville Bearcats? That's not a real team, chat. Is that like the Savannah Banana team? NFL long shot teams? Rancho Banquet Rattlers? This isn't even like the UFL. Whoa, Skidmore! The Skidmore Skeeters? This is not a real team, chat. The Skidmore Skeeters is not a real team. Hey, I'm afraid to even look that up. That's crazy. We're one of Devin Wade and Colts Cruz's rival high school teams in NFL 19 long shot mode. There are only 5 high school teams in 19's long shot, the other being Mathis Bullfrogs, the Beeville Bearcats. Beeville? not like the Beeville Bees, but the Beeville Bearcats, the Rancho Banquet Rattlers, and Katy Sandcrabs. On offense, defense, and special teams, they had an overall of about 65. Oh, that's disrespectful, chat. They were rating the high school guys compared to the NFL guys. I thought it'd be equivalent. Like, this high school guy is getting his own rating compared to the other high school guys. Not just like, okay, also, Randy Moss is in this game, so the guys for the Skeetville Skeeters are probably not going to be pretty good. Hey, yo. What is their name again? Skidmore Skeeters. Hey, yo, Skeetville Skeeters is crazy. But that's an inside joke with the developers. That's not a real team name. The Skidmore Skeeters. I mean, come on. IT's going to have to bleep that out every time we say it. That's crazy. Post Yellow Jackets, Stingrays, Honolulu. They got the Pro Bowl teams and stuff. All teams. Oh, all decade teams and stuff for sure. But that's not what we're talking about. We want, like, historic teams. We want to play with, like, what was the undefeated Dolphins? The 73 Dolphins? Oh, well, we'll just remember what their year was this year when they reconvene after, everybody loses again. And the unbeaten teams are broken. And they do reconvene in, like, if everybody just loses by week 3, I mean, I guess they're just getting together early this year. Ron Jaworski would be fun. Oh, Warren Moon, chat. Where's Warren Moon at in here? Did I see Warren Moon? Yeah, 14th. Would be a fun one to play with. 14th past years, I guess. We're just reading out 14th. Oh, Theismann, was he hurt this year? Yikes. That'd be tough. But I don't know if you'd have to, like, play out the injury. 6 games. Randall Cunningham would have been like a rookie. 22 years old. Richard Todd at 32. Maybe on the other day. Would Arch Manning have been in the league at this point? How long did Arch Manning play for? That's the goal. We want to play with Archie and Manning, or in Madden, chat. Hey, yo. I thought we were going to get to play with new Archie and Madden, but we're going to have to make a historical Madden, play with old Archie. Hey, yo. So he played up until 84, and I guess was really a starter up until 81. As well, too. Did make a Pro Bowl in 79. So 1979 Madden, chat? That would be crazy. That'd be a long anniversary. And once you go into and that's his best season as well, too, I guess, from an impact standpoint, according to Pro Football Reference at 8-8. Once you go back into the 70s, I mean, stylistically, it'd be weird. Like, I would definitely play a 70s 2K. I'm a crazy basketball fan like that. But the no three-pointer would be tough, and the spacing on that would get really old after a while. It's just mid-ranges and trying to drive for the lanes. Like, having a three-point would be fun for a video game variety as well, too. And you're not necessarily having that lack of an element in 79, but just the style of play does start to get a little different back in the day. Scrimmage stats? Let's see. Who was leading the league in scrimmage? Peyton Earl Campbell. Some of the names. Tony Dorsett, Franco Harris in the mix, John Riggins, shout out. John Stallworth as well. So it would have been fun playing with the running backs back in the day. But yeah, why is that not a special limited edition NBA 2K? 2K developers, get that in the works. NBA 2K85. I mean, it does sound cool, chat. 2K85. I know there's like the futuristic 2K. Wemby, put him in the Hall of Fame, chat. Obviously, he's the 6th best player of all time by the time we get to 1985. Retired and legendary and statues made. But, or I guess, did I say 1985? 2085? But the 1985 version would be pretty fun as well. So yeah, chat, I guess, like I said, we'll be back Friday to watch Psycho. Ayo, spoiler alert, Psycho. But there you go, chat. If you haven't seen Psycho in the 65 years that it's been out, now is the time to watch it. You've got a couple of days to knock it out. Of course, a legendary tone-setting, historical slasher type movie. And I think I started the show by saying this. I don't know if we ended up completing this thought. So, maybe a great way to bring it full circle. But because of the movies that were made back, we were talking runtime a little bit with Sam as well too. But there are just a little bit more of shorter movies back then. It does like a long movie. It's like, wait a second, this is an hour 55. Like, holy cow! Like, we gotta settle this down a little bit. So you do get through a night. There is a nice pace. I mean, maybe pace, I guess, in some ways as well. There's a little slower in some stories, but a lot of times the time does make for just a nice, easy rewatch in some ways. And I love the way old movies are written as well too. Now it's also just like oh wait a second, you're a film nerd. Like, that's what it is. But it is what it is, Chad. The movie holds up. I would say in terms of 60s movies, like, as much as I love old movies, like, there is just to what we're always throwing on, there's gonna be a time range at some point where we're like, hot take. We could settle into the 80s and the 90s and the 70s pretty good. Like, a lot of that stuff is obviously decade specific in a way, but that decades themselves have aged into 2025, obviously, like with the personality. It's like, okay, the 70s exist as a thing, the 80s exist as a thing. I would say the 50s, the 60s might be the one, honestly. The 60s might be the one decade that doesn't exist as a thing in that type of, the 40s pop culture, obviously, a little bit of a halt that time as well too. It is what it is, but still, I guess, great movies and stuff that were dropped in that time as well. But that 50s, like, Rat Pack, Sinatra era, like, there is, of course, at least a vibe to the entertainment industry at that time as well too that is sort of notable. And maybe we just, again, they're like, okay, why do we not know what the sort of landmark 60s stuff would be? But it does seem like, again, once you get into the 70s, pop culture has maintained from that time as well too. So I'm sure, Hitchcock had his 70s movies. Yeah, I'd have to go back and double check, the time and date for all of the Hitchcock movies. But that one is, of course, sort of the looking back anyways. I don't know in the moment if it was, necessarily like, this is the best Hitchcock movie of all time. But that was, of course, now has lived on as one of the major pieces that he's had. And again, with it being in that kind of maybe crossover decade of like color and, the technology and TV and stuff like that, maybe there is just a weird transitional period where some of that stuff gets lost. But regardless, chat, we're going to remember it Friday night when we rewatch it, because we're not going to have time. As much as the runtime is convenient, we're not going to have time to watch this one tonight. It is what it is. We got to get on the move, chat. So thank you guys, of course, for tuning in tonight. Shout out to our guy Sam for calling in. You guys can stay tuned on the YouTube here, because you never know. The man's going to be live from Cancun, chat. Shout out. He's a degenerate too, chat. Even if he doesn't want to admit it to himself, he's a degenerate. He can't help it. So he might be calling in live. We'll see here on the YouTube. Subscribe to find out. You can find the podcasts, of course, available on the actual podcast feeds themselves as well. Spotify, Apple, all that various different stuff. So, and Spotify, there's video forms of it as well too on those platforms now. So those are, of course, fun ways to still, hot take, chat. Spotify, still not that bad. Apple Podcast, still kicking it. So we are available over there. And yeah, shout out. I mean, August was definitely a big month for, of course, the music industry. So we'll see if September in the fall is able to continue in that sort of range. But we do have some big releases on the way, of course. I guess Iceman is still in the mix as well too. We'll see if that drops potentially soon. But at least for this instant week, I don't know if we have anything right on the books that is able to, or I guess we'd have to double check and see if there's anything that is getting us excited for this week. Hey, I'll pause from music standpoint. But again, we're well fed anyways. I guess it's just the sort of now we're just in the sports schedule cycle of like, okay, it's Music Friday. I guess we're gonna get new music. But at least for a summer run there, it is fun to have that on the books. So stay tuned, chat. Like I said, we will be back. And thank you guys for jumping on tonight. We'll see y'all later. Peace.